Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things you love. It's Wednesday night. It's the eve of the last... Is it the last? It's the last pre-season friendly against Bayern Munich. And not a lot has changed, has it, in the last week or so? You know, Palhinha's come in. Kudus has come in. Sakai, Danzo, Mathys Tel. It's not superb. A lot of people are losing their minds. We still do have 4 weeks to go. But I understand why people are starting to get a little bit kind of sort of more, I don't know, frustrated. I think the usual pivot from Levy out to Levy in. Once we get a signing, everyone's like, my chairman again. Then the second that something goes wrong, it's the Levy out people can't wait. You know, it is what it is. It's the pendulum swing of a Tottenham fan. But anyway, it's the fan phoning show. It's the fan phoning show. So I don't know how many members we've got. We've got quite a lot of members, and I get a lot of messages from people saying, "Sean, when are we doing the members phoning show?" So I told you all week. I said it's Wednesday night. So I put the link in the community section. So if you are a member and you wanted to come on, people like you, Robin, if you wanted to come on, you know, people like you, Cat Funt, good to see you. The link is there. The link is there. We have one man in the background. His name's Pies for Eyes. He's Steve, lovely guy. He's coming on, but this happens every time. I don't stop asking for fan phoning shows. If every time I do one, no one wants to come on until I put the link out to the general public, and then you get like 20 people that want to jump on in 30 seconds, and then you also run the crucible, the gauntlet, with whether you have what happened to Sava happen. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to put the link out to everybody else. No offense to the good ones amongst you, but if you do want to come on and you're not a member, cost you a couple of quid. But yeah, I'm scary apparently. Scary apparently, Connor. Yeah, and I'm not scary. I'm a nice guy. I'm easygoing. But listen, it doesn't matter. We've got lots to talk about. And look, we're going to go for a little while. If no one wants to jump on, then I'll just call it a night early. And then never ask me again to do a fan phoning show. Because I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing. Spurs fan John's going to come on. He's going to come on. All right, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's find out what's going on. By the way, I haven't even started asking. Done none of the admin, have I? Guys, smash the like button. Smash the like button for me. You know what you got to do. If you can't at least join the show, if you remember, then at least hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you know what you're doing. Hit the notification bell and drop the comments. Rub the sub, drum the thumb, yell at the bell, and I don't know, wrap the chat. Don't know. Trying to think of another analogy there. Let's go, guys. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got Jack Grealish. Is he going to come to Tottenham? Is he going to go to Everton? We've got the stories out, you know, our boy Evan Gassand, one of the people I've been sort of vouching for, saying, I like this. I like it. I want him to come to Tottenham. Well, he's gone to Aston Villa, one of our rivals. Therefore, I no longer like him. I want him to fail. What about Newcastle United? Is ambition really all it is cracked up to be? Is it ambitious to go after people you're never going to sign? Is it ambitious to waste 6 weeks going after people that have got no intention of coming to you? And for what it's worth, airing your dirty laundry in public. Is that ambition? Or is it delusions of grandeur that is manifested by a horrendous transfer strategy orchestrated by 0 directors of football? And yet that's supposed to be the club that Tottenham should be emulating. Really? If Tottenham were doing what Newcastle are doing now, all of those that have always said that Tottenham and Daniel Levy are mugs and point to Newcastle as being the bastion of how it should be done, if it was the boot was on the other foot, you'd all be losing your mind. But you're not, because you see the world through a certain set of lenses whereby the grass is always greener and whereby everybody else is great. You'll see the best in everything else that they do, and you see the worst in yourself, the worst in your own team. And it's silly. Tottenham Hotspur still have time on their sides. Is it getting a little bit squeaky bum time with regards to PSG? For sure. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But that's what makes it exciting. This is what we're here to be. You know, we're a team that you never really know. And that's what keeps me up at night. Anyway, guys, smash the like, Smash the subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Apparently, Sonny's come out with a farewell. Oh, I haven't seen it. Maybe I can get it up. Maybe I can pause. Maybe I can get it up and show us during the show. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Hello, Sean. Like you, mate, but my God, you were running thin on time because when you kept saying that Spurs will have a new club's highest earner and transfer record this summer. We already have got a new club's highest earner, by the way. We already have. It used to be Sonny. He's gone. Whoever it was that was one step below him, he's now the new club's highest earner. So I'm out of jail on a technicality. See what I do there? See what I do? Anyway, let's bring in Steve. Let's see what's going on. How you doing, Steve? Good to see you, mate.
Hi, bud. How are you?
All right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. You just telling me backstage you just had a Chinese. I just had an Indian. So between us, we're multicultural dinners. It's lovely.
Yeah. Got to spread hands across the world.
100%, mate. 100%. I'll be spreading something across my bathroom after this show, though, to be honest.
Nice.
Poor, that's a weird one. Steve, mate, what's going on? How happy are you? How are you feeling about the transfer window? Are you panicking, or are you kind of a little bit chilled right now? Where are you?
No, never panic.
Never panic.
Make bad decisions when you panic, which is what I fear Tottenham might do rather shortly.
Yeah.
If we get a new 10, which is what we desperately need, that's the one thing we categorically need, is someone to play 10 that is a 10, because we've just been hit by the unlucky injury bug again, and it's all happened in one position again, yeah. So before Maddison got injured, I would have been happy with a not backup, but a younger 10 that can grow into the role and get better and sit behind Maddison for a year or two, get the rotation minutes, etc. So you've been talking about El Canous, and I really like Matheus Fernandes at Southampton, but again, they're young, they're inexperienced. But now
Mathys
is not.
Fernandes. Let's talk to me about him. That's an interesting one. Why do you like him?
Because he was the one that stood out. Like, for me, he was much better than Dibbling. Yeah. By quite a long way.
Yeah. He's a good player. He's a really good player. I think he'll go on to something. I think he'll become a very good player in the future. I'm not sure if he's right for Tottenham yet, but he's a very good player.
No, That's what I'm saying. If Maddison had been around and maybe Kulu had been coming shortly, a player like that, I think you can do. But now we can't. Now it has to be a starting level quality number 10, or starting level quality left wing, and then maybe you can do the riskier 10. But I was watching you did the Spurs 5 the other night, and I think most of them on the panel were. It was fun.
It was a lively one, wasn't it? It was lively. That's what that show's about, though.
Yeah, there was that big argument between Stel and Saba, which they were basically saying the same thing, but just coming at it from different sides.
That's often the case with those two.
No, it was interesting, and I like hearing all the different points of views of people, because then it just fleshes out your idea, and then you can come up with whatever you think.
Yeah,
but it seemed to be most of the panel seemed to be categorical that unless we get a new starting level 10, a new starting level left wing, a new starting level striker, then everything's broken, the world is ending, and Tottenham are in the mud.
Yeah.
You need to lower your expectations. We're not getting 3 starting level players.
Exactly. How much is that going to cost? Let's do the thought experiment for a second, right? If you just want to get someone in that's of the level of Decky and Maddison, so not like, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about a world class player here. I'm talking about
we can't buy them, so they're off the table.
We can't buy them anyway. So exactly right. They're never going to come to Tottenham. But someone in that kind of Maddison, so sort of tier 2, tier 3, depending on how you stack rank those tiers. It's still going to 50, 60 million quid. Mortgage is white. Someone like him, 60 million quid, right? So that's what that's going to cost you. How much is a left winger that's going to replace Sonny going to cost you?
Well,
75?
Yeah, if you're going for that level, then yes. I mean, like, it would be probably a half decent shout to get someone like Malik Fofana. He's going to be 40 odd, but again,
Exactly.
cheap, unproven, young. Like, he looks awesome and he looks fun, but he's the same as the others, just maybe a little bit further on.
If
not
Wilfred
Matoma.
Odegaard was playing out in Lyon, right, terrorizing Metz, terrorizing Marseille, don't you think we'd all be sitting there going, "Oh, that Odegaard looks quality, young, up and coming French under-21 player. He'd be one we should bring in."
Yeah, I think he probably came to us a year too early, realistically. But there's always very much a grass is greener approach. Everyone just always wants new signings.
100%.
And everyone wants to give people time to develop, but without giving them the time to develop. So you need to be. There's.
I completely agree, mate.
I've done a Lubo and I've made notes.
Oh, please tell me there's not a 7-point manifesto, Steve. Please don't tell me there's one of them, is there?
There's not a manifesto, but there is a thing I can go through, which
let's go.
I think is interesting.
Let's hear it.
Well, the first one is just on. I think people play down Solanke quite a lot because he had a bad season last year, and
did he have a bad season? Did he have a bad season though? I think even that's
he had an alright season and he was injured.
You know?
No, this is again. It's one of those things of if you listen to the vast majority, I'm inclined to agree. Coach was terrible. Tactics were terrible. Johnson's terrible. Son's terrible. Who's meant to be scoring the goals? Solanke. And he's in between all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you expect. You can't demand greatness from him whilst also having all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing that's said quite a lot is we need, and this is because we've been spoiled with Kane and Son for the last 10 years, we need a proper striker, a proper 20, 25 goal a season striker. That's what gets said a lot. You play a game. How many strikers or just players in the Premier League scored over 20 goals last year?
Oh. Maybe 4? 3?
5. How many scored over 25?
1 or 2, right? Salah and 1. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Year before it was 3 and 1. Year before it was 3 and 2. Year before it was 20 and none. 2 and none. Year before was 2 and none. There aren't elite strikers.
Yeah, no, it's the drop off in quality in the striker game. I don't know. Like I have this debate quite often. Like people go, "Oh, it's not like the way it used to." You know, you'd have like 12, 15 players that would be banging in 20 goals a season. Every team had a 20 goal a season guy. Maybe, but the game has changed. Like it used to be 4-4-2. You know, now it's not. Now it's like 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or sometimes back three with the, you know, and so like the game naturally there's just as many goals that are being scored as there used to be. It's just that they're getting spread around more by different players that aren't necessarily always. So like more. I would reckon if you were to run the same stats on, you know, if you did that same thing, how many players scored 20 goals or more from 2000 to 2010, you'd probably have a much higher distribution of people that were above 20. But I think right now you probably have about 4 times as many that sit between the kind of 7 and 13 goal category than used to.
Yeah,
it used to be everything went through a couple of people. Now it seems like it's more just spread around, and so therefore it's not quite as you're not going to get those superstars emerge quite, or at least if you're just judging them on the data.
Yeah, no, because it used to be Mike Bassett 4-4-2, didn't it? There was 2 strikers, little and large, and then that evolved to a striker and like a second striker, maybe a 10, and now it's just evolved into there's 3 forwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right. There's a lot more people now in the sort of like 10, well, maybe a bit higher, like 12 to 17 category.
Right.
And what you want, which is what we had for a while. Well, we had a bit more, but you want 3 players that are your starting 3 that are all going to contribute 15 odd goals.
Yeah.
So right winger, left winger,
Steve,
striker.
we've lost these people though, hasn't he? Like in Maddison, I think someone told me yesterday, in losing Maddison, Decky, and Sonny, we've given up 67 goal contributions from last year.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure that doesn't work out to be 67 goals because I'm sure some of the assists
there's massive crossover.
Yeah, massive crossover. But even if it's 30 goals less between those 3 and the contributions, it's still terrifying. Still.
Yeah,
I mean, how many goals? How many fewer goals are we going to concede by having a more disciplined and more organised backline? Because that definitely looks more organised in the preseason, doesn't it?
Oh, massively. I think this is the. I think for me, what like the blow up that's happened after the last game is so surprising to me because everyone was so happy after the Arsenal game. The only thing that's changed is Maddison's got injured. Everything else, and we've added Palhinha, so it's not still the same. You've lost one and you've gained another. Losing Maddison is terrible, and they have to do something to fix that creative hole because we don't particularly have anything creative unless we're just going to do the Bournemouth, Brentford. You're creating is by pressing and nicking the ball and then just going from there sort of thing, or playing about a bit at the back and hitting big diags, which can work. I mean, it's been quite frustrating a lot of the friendlies. Like even that last game, there was probably 3 or 4 times we put Sonny into really good like one-on-one driving his man positions, and he just dithered and cocked it up. And unfortunately, love you, Sonny.
That there, right, is the reason why. Like you've seen that Sonny decline. You're spot on with it. We all seen it. Brennan Johnson never had it. Like Brennan Johnson's good at certain things, but he's never been someone that takes a player on because that wasn't what he did.
Goals. It's mad.
It just scores goals. He does nothing else. He can't pass it very well. He can fire it low in the Ange system. He can fire it low across the block, across the goal at times. But that's just more of a hit and hope into a dangerous area and see if someone's gets their foot on the end of it. And then like you're looking at Kudus and you're going, well, it's still it's a hell of a lot of expectation to throw on Kudus to be the only creative outlet. That's why you definitely need that guy to do it off the left-hand side. And as much as I think that Mathys Tel will become a good player, he so far, I'm a little bit disappointed with his preseason. He hasn't really kind of shown that sort of next trigger, that next level. And then that miss probably did hurt his confidence. And Odebear, I mean, I like Odebear. I always liked Odebear, but I don't think he's particularly ready either. Premier League is a different kettle of fish to French under 21. Even to Germany, whatever else. It's a big step up, Steve.
Yeah, I like both of them, Odebear and Tel. You can see they're both very talented. Odebear in this preseason, I think, has been pretty good. The problem is he's inverse Brennan Johnson. He does loads of good stuff, and then there's nothing on the end of it. Whereas Brennan does nothing and somehow has the ending.
If you could merge the two, little hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. They do also suffer from, and I think this is from Tel especially. He came with big expectations and a big price tag for what he is. So when he does stuff wrong, or is a bad touch or whatever, people just pile in.
Yeah.
And I think what happened in the game the other night, that I don't think it's a lack of confidence, him going through on goal. I think he was too cocky. He's like, I've got this, I'm going to step over and then lay it round him. I think he just needs to dial that back a little bit and you'll be all right. But he does some really nice stuff. Like I know
his build-up plays clever.
People are comparing him to Richalison and stuff. He gets bullied sometimes because of the size of him. He's got Dan Burn hanging off the back of him. I'm not sure what people want a 20-year-old to do at that point. But I would tell people to go look. It was just before he got subbed, or just before Sonny got subbed off. he picked up the ball in sort of like the 10 space and he played like a blind reverse pass into the box to Sonny. It was brilliant. And then Son fucked it up. But
Yeah.
he's got good stuff in his locker. Like he was taking, even with Shah or Burn or whoever it was on top of him, some of the time he took it down and laid off nice little touches to people and played around and stuff. He's not perfect and he's not ready, but you can see it. I
100%,
think anyway.
Mate. I completely I 100% concur. And I especially concur with your statement around certain people. They want him to, they've made their mind up on him. It's the same with Daniel Levy. It's the same sort of syndrome where people people in, who have positions of platform or whatever to be able to say their opinion. When you've been saying something for so long, and then the need to rewrite kicks in, and I'm guilty of it. So I'm not saying it's it's a thing that only other people do. I do it as well. Like you'll find anything you can to support your bias, and especially if you lean negative on a certain topic, then every time someone does something that is in your crosshairs that supports the narrative, you hammer into it. And I just think it's such an unhelpful it's an unhelpful level of chaos to be trying to throw out into the world, because that stuff, it's not good energy, right? Like people feed off of that, and then they whenever Mathys Tel will make a mistake, you'll get that. But you wouldn't get it if it was Harry Kane that made the mistake. You wouldn't get it if it was someone else. Just because you haven't done it yet doesn't mean that you won't ever do it. But there's the likelihood of you never doing it is amplified if all you have is people like hammering you every time you do something wrong, and then sort of deliberately or whether unintentionally ignoring every time they do something right because they have a predisposition confirmation bias that they want to lean into.
Yeah, I think it's the confirmation bias thing. It's the, like, if he does 50% good things and 50% bad things, they'll remember 50% bad things.
Yeah.
There's also, and this isn't just a football thing. This is not to get too big thinking. It's just a problem in general, which has been driven by social media over the years. Everything has to be either the best thing in the world or it's shit. There's no in between anymore. It's just so polarized to one end or the other. And it's not like it's like Solanke's a good example. People either people say shit or people defend him by saying he's he's great.
I think a lot of people,
good. That's about it.
I think a lot of people who wouldn't usually, like, I find this with myself. If the rest of the social media for like the space, the people that there's 650 people here. In fact, let's play a game. I'll play this game real quick so I can come back to this point. Guys in the chat, right? Ones and zeros right now today. How do you feel about Daniel Levy today? 1, Levy in, or Levy okay, whatever. 0, Levy out. Just today. Not what happened after Europa League. Just right now, because of where we're at. How do you feel? 1, if you're positive on him. 0, if you want him to go. Okay, and this is my channel, because I generally lean a little bit more sort of balanced, or I think I'm more balanced on him on the channel. Obviously, when I go on the Spurs 5, because I'm someone that would seek out, generally speaking, balance. And I agree with what you're saying. With everyone says like something's great or something's shit, nothing can just be okay. And so when I go on, I don't want to play that polarization game, right? So, but when I go in somewhere and I hear someone tell me that Tel's shit, that Solanke's shit, that yada yada shit, that Levy's and dickhead, all that, I then become the version of me that I don't want to be, which is to play the opposite role, where I'm starting to say, no, I'm only going to tell you about the good things because all you're telling me is the bad things. But in reality, I'd love to sit there and go, I agree with you. But if I say I agree with you when you're saying he's shit, then I can't say that, because then it makes me the same sort of version as you are. So I want to be able to say, can we not agree that he's good and bad at the same time in equal measure or whatever, some shade of grey? Let's have a look. Where do we get to on this zeros, ones and zeros? So is it 1? So he's good, out, in, out, hokey cokey. All right, so I'd say it's about 50-50, right? Maybe slightly more leaning in. If I was to ask this chat the same question the day that we signed Kudus, or actually probably even more the next day when we apparently signed Morgan Gibbs-White, it would probably be 90-10.
Well, and we had
If I-
300 million investment. That was a great day.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very reactionary, and I just think that but if you were to do that same game on other people's channels, it would be 90% zeros.
Yeah.
You know, but that would change. It would change if like my joke of saying my chairman, that's far more well received on a day when we've signed Polinia and we beat Arsenal than it is when Morgan Gibbs-White is called off because of Marinakis, for example.
Of course, I think there's a big thing for me anyway, which is about setting expectations, and I think it drives how people feel about things because they set unrealistic expectations, and then when we don't meet them, they go mad.
Yeah,
and it's like, well,
exactly.
We weren't gonna, like, for instance, this window, my sort of level for okay, it's all right, I'm not going to go mad, was to get 2 starting level players, 2 first 11 players, and we've done that. Granted, one of them's on loan, but still.
Yeah.
So I'm at least roughly at peace with it. And then after that, it was, if we lose Son and Richarlison, then you've probably got space for another player. And then again, go big for that player. But we've got too many players as it is. The squad is full. They may not be to everyone's liking or to the correct standard, but they're there. And until some of them are gone, we're not Chelsea. We can't just have people sat around eating up wages and not care about it. And we can't just bin them off to Strasbourg. So we're kind of stuck unless you start doing Ndombele's and ripping up contracts. And
that might end up happening with Bissouma, by the way. That might end up happening with Bissouma. If we're going to bring in another 8, then that might have to happen because he seems to be digging his heels in.
Yeah, but I understand it. And if you're somewhere that you like and you're getting good money, you don't want to go. He's down to a year, so he can run it down and then move somewhere that he wants to move and get a nice bit of money doing that. Fair play to you, but he's not going to get played. Like, we've now got, if you're saying we've got the double pivot, one side is going to be, well, if you can do it this way, what I do it anyway. One side is going to be Paulinho or Bentancur as the sitter, and experience, and then the other side you've got Sarr, Bentancur, or Gray as the legs and runners, but not quite as experienced. So you don't want to play like Gray and Berghvall together. You always want to pair them up with one of the other two.
Yeah.
Whereas Bissouma's not going to play. It's just
so after this, after what we saw against Newcastle, has that one performance elevated Gray ahead of Bissouma for you in the pecking order as it stands?
Well, he's obviously not as good as him yet, but I think he played better in that more like roaming 8 role than he's played trying to be like a smushed into the 6 role. I told you before we came on, I live in Leeds. I have done for many years, and they're my second team, so I follow them very closely and watch them a lot. I was really excited when we signed Archie because I watched him coming up through Leeds, and the way that everyone just said, "Yeah, he's going to be a 6." It's like, no, I'm not sure, lads. It's
so you see him more as an 8?
Well, he played when he was younger. He played further up the pitch. He played more of a 8-ish, 10-ish sort of role, just because his body developed physically better than others at his age, so he could just dominate people that way. And then obviously he got into the Leeds team mostly at right back. He played a bit of midfield, but he mostly played right back. And he might develop into a 6, but to me, I've always thought of him as like mini Declan Rice. That's what he looks like to me. Someone that will get stuck into tackles, can batter into people, and then can just like we saw against Newcastle. You win the ball and then he's off. And he's got a nice touch. He's got some nice passes.
Yeah,
but what he can't do,
really good.
What he can't do is the thing that it's the same thing that, funnily enough, Declan Rice struggles with. Is if you play him as a lone six, you can't play out through him. He's not going to take the ball with his back to goal with someone hanging off him and turn them and then play a pass or whatever. He hasn't developed that side of his game yet, if he's going to. So we've kind of stumbled into having, I think, 3 really good young, like marauding eights in Sarr, Berghvall and Gray. And
you got Bentancur that does the same thing anyway.
Well, Bentancur can do that.
We're like a Chinese betting company, you know?
I know, man. But I mean,
or Billericay on a Friday night, you know?
Bentancur's got the thing of, he's one of those weird players that I think he's really good, but he's kind of like pretty good at everything, but doesn't excel at anything.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, he's never going to be rubbish, but he doesn't have that one thing where you're like, that's what he does. That's what he's great at. I think not yet. He's
only 19. You know, this is the thing, Steve. I just feel like.
Oh, I meant Bentancur. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Bentancur. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, listen, Bentancur for me, when he lost his confidence, his injury, I think, sort of changed his confidence level in it. Not confidence in his ability to do things, but confidence in his ability to trust his body, I think.
Yeah, well, you see it, don't you? When knees and ankles and stuff go, it stops them turning. Like you can't push off and move as well. Like what was once a nice little touch and turn now becomes a slow touch and turn, and the ball's gone.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we're linked with Casado. He'd be a really good little buy, but I don't know where he fits because we've got too many players.
Yeah, we don't need any more midfielders. If we are going to get a midfielder, go and get me a 10 that maybe can drop a little bit deeper, like a Paqueta, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Steve, listen, mate, I could talk to you for hours, bro. You're a very easy guy to talk to. Please come on again, mate. But we have got a few people in the background, so I need to move on, mate. But have you got any socials or anything I need to let everyone know about?
No, nothing to plug, man. Just like chatting.
Oh, I appreciate you, mate. Come back on again, mate. If you drop your number in the private chat before you leave, I don't know if you can see it there on the right-hand side, then I can text you and we can come on again. Are you on a phone? DM me on Twitter or something if you've got a Twitter account. Or I'll see you next time.
Instagram or on here. Don't do Twitter.
All right, mate. Find me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. Cheers, Steve. Appreciate you, mate.
Cheers, dude. Bye.
See you, buddy. Remove him. Oh, there's no point. Let's bring on the next one, shall we? Straight in. Wasn't Steve a great guest there? Wasn't Steve? Big up to Steve in the chat. Eugene, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, mate.
Son. Well, how about yourself?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. I just, I don't know, mate. It's one of those sort of periods. We go through this every couple of weeks or every couple of months in this fan base. I spend a lot of time in WhatsApp groups. You're in the WhatsApp group with me. I spend a lot of time, like, obviously talking with other content creators, dealing with Twitter. So my energy is sort of directly affected by whatever the fan base feels about Tottenham on any given day. And right now, it just feels like it's largely it's just everyone's a little bit kind of on some degree. There's very few people that are positive. Everybody's either like, I'll be patient, but it's scary, or this will fucking just burn the house down. This is shit, you know? And I don't know. How do you feel, mate? How do you feel about the whole thing?
You know what this is? I think fans are confused. Like, I'm confused. Because if I would see a plan, I'm like, okay, we're following a plan. We have this money that we offered for Gibbs White that's still sitting there. And then we're offering 70 million for Zabarny. How does that make sense when we have pressing needs on the left and at the 10? Like last season, everybody's saying we had issues defensively, which is true. But I think we went 23, 24 games scoring 1 goal or less. And that's with Enge. So our attack is toothless. So if we're saying we have no money, that's one thing. but we had 60 million for the release clause for White, 70 million for Zabarny. Where is that money right now? I think my
It's
biggest
there.
concern
It's
is
definitely there,
our
mate.
scouting.
It's definitely there.
No,
Football London came out and said yesterday that their sources have reassured them. Lee Wilcott, I think his name is, who's like the head editor, the head of football. He's a massive Tottenham fan. He came out and said that they've been reassured that Tottenham have all the money they need to fulfill their plans. It just depends on what their plans look like.
Exactly. And I'm concerned our scouting network is shambles. Like Paratici, even if he's back, can he do business outside of Italy? I don't know. Everybody who he brings in is from Italy. Lange,
Yeah.
we have no idea what he's doing. He's in the background. But I just feel like we're linked with, these rejects. Like, I don't want to see Vlahovic. I don't want to see Jack Grealish. There's so many younger players in Europe, not 18-year-olds, but 23, 24-year-old established players.
Yeah.
Very talented players for 30, 40 million.
Yeah.
Who can come in and plug our holes. We don't need, these loans, or we don't need these overpriced rejects who are 29, 30 years old, who are not good enough for their existing clubs. And they're looking, for some playing time to make the World Cup squad. That's not what I want. And I feel like our scouting team, they're not doing their job. And that's not just this season, right? For years and years and years.
No, I hear you, mate. I hear you. When you talk about Paratici, it reminds me of like a girlfriend I used to have who used to get home when I lived in Clapham in London. She used to get home to my house before me, and then she'd text me and say, like, what do you want for dinner? And I'd always say, oh, don't worry, you choose. And after like 6 occasions of me saying that, I realized that when I gave her the option, she was always bringing in sushi. And like, sushi's nice, but not like 3 times a week, And I think like Paratici only ever fishes in the Italian market. It's like getting a pizza every night or whatever. It's tasty. Don't get me wrong, but after a while, you need to kind of, if I'm going to be trusting you with my dinner, I need to know that you can go more than just one cuisine. And I think that's Paratici. I think Paratici's done a good job at Tottenham, but his skill set his wins have been from Italy. And his failures have been when he's gone elsewhere.
Yeah, and even if you look at the wins, Bentancur, right? He didn't, he wasn't getting any playing time at Juve. Kulusevski was also on the fringes. So I just want us to go to a club that's below us in the hierarchy and just make a statement and take their best guy, like we tried to do with Gibbs White. Just go to a lower club and say, that's your best player. We're going to take him because we can pay the wages, and we can pay the transfer fee. And we just don't seem to do it. So I don't know. So to your question, my biggest issue is I don't see a plan for this window. Like, we cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. There is no reason for us to look for loans for youngsters, making bids for Gibbs White while also looking to other players. A big club, if option A is in there, they're gonna go to option B. I just don't see option B. We wasted so much time.
Yeah.
And Ange had the same issues. He wanted players in the preseason, and we gave him players last day of the window or in January. And it seems like we're gonna have the same issue with Frank. He's gonna get 1 or 2 players very last week of the window, and that's gonna set us back. And it just makes no sense to me. There's no reason why. There's no excuse why.
Do you so going from there then? So the rumours out today are that Everton have made a move, and when Ornstein speaks, it's usually quite advanced. But that Tottenham are also circling for Jack Grealish. Do you place the Jack Grealish in the one to avoid category, or does it make sense on a loan deal because of how troubled we are at the top end of the pitch? And even if you like him, which I'm not sure if I want him or not, but even if you do, doesn't the fact that you've got 2 loans out of 3 first-team signings suggest that they're not sure on what they want, or they're not really that prepared? And again, why? If not, why not? Like, it's not like, I get it that Scott Munn lost his job, but Lang didn't. And at the end of the day, if all these guys have to do, right, Johan Lang has got the easiest fucking job in the world, is to watch football, look at data, sort of have a couple of conversations. What sort of profile do we want? Okay, here's 20 players. And if all you can come up with is João Palhinha on a loan and Jack Grealish on a loan, then I mean, any of us could do that, couldn't we? It's not exactly fun. It's not exactly like rocket science.
Well, that's what you do, right? You pull up Y Scout and you see what players are there.
Every day,
or Ashmatic, same thing. I mean, I've learned more from you guys than probably our scouting team knows. But look, I was getting into it with Sava. He's a Grealish guy. He's like, well, if we don't have a 10, he's an improvement. I don't like him. Maybe it's just my personal opinion. I don't like players of his type, his personality. That's why I don't like Maddison. Not even their skills. They're talented. Just the personalities, how they play. I just don't like him. Grealish, all the baggage that he has, he better produce on the pitch. And looking at his stats, his goal contributions, he hasn't done anything in 2-3 years. If you're being benched for Doku, and Doku is a good player, but if you're a 100 million player and you're being benched for Doku and you don't fight for a place, and with his personality, I don't know. I just don't see the hunger. After the treble, him taking a step down from City to Spurs, he's not my type. Plus the influence on the youngsters, for me, he's not worth all the baggage that he might bring. And him and Maddison together, I just don't think it's a good combination in London.
So who would you go for as a left winger option then? Bert, let me throw some names out for you. Garnacho?
No.
Lookman?
Yes, Lookman is a good shout. Lookman. Yeah. And he 45 million? 40 million?
Yeah, not a lot.
Yep.
Fofana?
Fofana, again, it's a risk bringing in somebody from France, right? Because we got burned.
Well, that's what you were asking for a minute ago. You said, there's lots of 30, 40 million pound players out in Europe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would take a chance on him. I'd take a chance on him rather than bringing in Jack, for sure. Fofana is talented. Again, it would be a risk, but anybody from a foreign league is a risk. Anybody, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, but I'd bring him in, for sure.
Would you take the fella from Everton, Iliman and Dye?
Look good, yep. I mean, there are a bunch of shows that you've done and everybody else, all these names, right? The Georgian kid, Bikitadze, like there are a lot of players who all the fans agree would make us better. Whether we're right or not, I have no idea. But again, I want to see a plan that makes sense. I want to see a signing that makes sense. Jack Grealish, you can argue it would make sense for this one season, but for me, I'm looking long term. I just don't see how it helps us. It's
okay, well, let me spin this to you, though, then. Let me spin this sort of narrative to you. So everyone is assuming that because there's no noise, that there's nothing happening. No noise equals no activity. That's not the case necessarily. I'm not saying it isn't the case, but it's not necessarily the case. Every single time Tottenham have been linked under Johan Lang with 1,000 players or 100 players or 10 players, none of them have come in. And then all of a sudden, it's Tottenham are talking to this guy and it's bang and it's done. So I would make the argument, I would put it to you, that every player that we're linked with is a player that we're not going to get. And the player that we're not linked with will wake up, whether it's tomorrow morning or Friday or Saturday or Sunday or whenever, and it will be Spurs are talking to insert whoever it is there, and then we go. So you compare that strategy. It's not, if you first of all, do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
I do. It's just how long it takes for us to make these signings. Again, if we had a proper scouting team and Lang actually knew what he was doing, again, the Morgan Gibbs White business falls through, let's go to plan B. And it just feels like once it falls through, then we're starting to look for somebody else. We got to get our business done as soon as possible. Super Cup, Burnley, season starting. And it seems like...
Yeah.
So that's my issue.
What I would say is, right, so the alternative, I'm guessing this would probably be something that because we're starved and we're frustrated with what we have, then the opposite in this environment you take. But if you're a Newcastle United fan right now that have the entire opposite, Newcastle United have put their have put their fork in the sand, or whatever the phrase is, and they've said, you know, they want this guy, they want that guy. The stories have been played out in the media. They've been gazumped by everybody. They've been rejected by everybody. And I think it's the worst possible way to do your business. They don't have a director of football. That absence has been a problem. Eddie Howe, that everyone waxes lyrical about, is being a fantastic manager, and he is a great manager, but he falls out with every director of football he's ever had, and they end up leaving. They go after 10 different players. Number 1 says no. Number 2 says no. 3, 4, 5, 6 all fall off at the wayside. They're now down to, like, apart from the right winger from Forest, they're down to like their 10th choice for a player this year, having had goalkeeper rejections, centre back rejections, defensive mid rejections, midfield 8s, 10s, and left wingers and strikers galore. All rejected them. The problem for me is that after a while, like, you might sit there as a Newcastle fan when the stories heat up and think, come on, get it. And then when it doesn't happen and they go elsewhere, they go to Liverpool, they go to Manchester United, they go to Manchester City, they stay at Crystal Palace in the case of Gay, whatever, you're going to end up getting frustrated. And you know what? So not only does that compound itself into more negativity because you showed ambition, I think it's delusions of grandeur, pitching your sand and fishing in a pond that's far too big. You don't have a strong enough rod to catch that size fish. And not only that, but when you're doing it for the 10th time, that 10th person is going to think 2 things, and they're both equally as damaging. 1, why would I come to you when the 9 guys before me have rejected you? And 2, you don't want me. You wanted the 9 guys before me, which makes it incredibly difficult to make a sales pitch that says, you're our guy. We can rebuild the entire team around you. Really? Really? Because yesterday you were after that guy, and the day before that you were after the other guy, and 2 days ago you were after the guy, except like the guy before the guy. And so to me, like, we sit there and think, well, it's so quiet, nothing's happening, it's a disgrace. Sack the chairman, sack the director of football, sack this, sack that. The scouts shit. The entire opposite methodology is just as bad in terms of outcomes, but more damaging in terms of reputation. And so I don't know what the happy medium is, but I think that the thing that we think that we should be doing, you're seeing it play out in real time. Just show ambition. Nah, you got to be realistic with your targets. In my opinion,
I agree, but I slightly disagree. So I guess their issue is they want to compete with the big boys, right? If United, Liverpool comes for a player, they're going to go to United and Liverpool, not Newcastle, right? So that's just the way it is. And for us, we should know our level as well. Rodrigo is not coming, but there are enough players under that level. If Newcastle comes for Mikatadze, he's going to go there. If they come for Lookman, perhaps he might go there, right? Same thing for us. So we need to know where to shop, and there are more than enough very good players for us and Newcastle. Their issue is they're just trying to compete with the big boys, and it's never going to happen.
Newcastle it is, and I think for Tottenham it is to a degree. Like, you know, we made a pitch apparently for Zabani. Perfect example, case in point. You're saying there's nothing happening if things would get wrapped up quicker. How long has PSG been chasing Zabani for? 5 weeks? That story was wrapped up 4 weeks ago. Then it was off. Then it's back on. Then it's done. Then Tottenham put a bid in. It was accepted, but he wants to go to... It's still not done. L'Equipe today came out and said that PSG are now more pessimistic than ever about that deal, and that Tottenham and Newcastle are loitering with intent. Now, I believe that he'll end up at PSG, but just because the story isn't being played out through the media doesn't mean that Tottenham are not being active.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess I just have PTSD from other windows, and I just feel like I know how the story is going to play out. It's like last season when we put in a bid for Guehi. There is no way it was the real bid. It was just, I feel like, again, my opinion, a PR stunt saying we tried. And I think Rodrigo, very similar. I mean, we all know Rodrigo is not coming. And
that's a perfect. I love that you said that, because I'm on one of these missions tonight to call out, not you personally at all. I love you, Eugene. You're a great guy, but like, call out the kind of hypocrisy of the fan base. So we say, well, just show some ambition. Show some ambition. Let us know you tried. the second that the links come out about Tottenham trying to have a crack at Rodrigo, I put the story out on the Spurs Talk Show. Do you know how many comments were like, it's a ridiculous clickbait, Butler. You know he's not happening. From the same people that are pissed off with Daniel Levy for never showing ambition, as soon as the story breaks that Tottenham put in a bid, it's either derided as a bullshit story or it's said it's ludicrous. It's just PR stunt to show we tried. You can't have it both ways. Like, if you want Tottenham to go after these sorts of players, then when the story emerges, you can't ridicule us for having a go.
Oh, I'm not really. I mean, I would love for us.
Not you.
I'm just saying, as fans, I mean, fans love their clubs to bid for top players. I'm just being realistic. I know where we are in the food chain. So if they're seriously about making a bid for Rodrigo, for me, that's great. It shows me that A, we have the money, and B, that we're looking at top players. Whether I think it's doable or not, that's irrelevant, right? So I think both things can be true. But for me, is like, if we do have the money for Rodrigo, again, there are other players who might not be as good, but who are more attainable. And if bidding for Rodrigo is stopping us from doing due diligence on other players who are more attainable, that's an issue for me, right? I just don't want us to do these PR stunts to show that, oh, we tried, but we didn't get, versus actually like Lookman. Again, if we get Lookman, I would say that's ambition, even though he might not be the name of Rodrigo. Kudus is not Rodrigo, but that was ambition. Gibbs White.
But we didn't know anything about Kudus, right?
Right.
We didn't know anything about Kudus. And again, I'm playing hypotheticals here just to like point out the emotional outrage that the fans present, and so many content creators indulge it and benefit from it because they put out like, what are Tottenham doing? It's a disgrace, all that sort of thing. And then people come in and just go, yeah, it's, and it creates it amplifies this energy of people assuming to know things that they can't know and leaning into the negative based on what they believe is historical track record, right? But if under Johan Lang, we don't know anything about any transfer until it basically happens, then the only reason why we know that the Kudus story, I'm just playing I'm not saying that nothing ever leaks, but had we made a move for Kudus and West Ham said, no, never happening, forget about it, we might not have ever known about the Kudus bid. The only reason we knew about it was because it was happening. So it was nothing. Tottenham are talking to Kudus. 2 hours later, Kudus done. Nothing on Morgan Gibbs White. Tottenham have activated the clause. Done. And it turned not to be done because of a unique environment with their owner. So if that's what we're seeing from Johan Lang, how do we know that Tottenham haven't had conversations, not just with people like Rodrigo, which we might think are unrealistic, but how do we know we haven't had conversations with Lookman's team, with Rafael Leao's team, with Jorel Hato's team, with Zabani, with whoever, in whichever role guys you want, Paqueta, Harvey Elliott, whatever, right? And then because there was no willingness, no interest, therefore the story of it never got anywhere. Therefore, it never got into the media because Johan Lang keeps his cards close to his chest. And so we don't know the half of it. We don't know anything. And so for me, when I see people go, oh, Harvey Elliott's now going to RB Leipzig, Tottenham should have had him. Whereas the same people 2 weeks earlier were saying we should be going for more than Harvey Elliott. How do you know that we didn't go for Harvey Elliott? And then he didn't want to come to Tottenham, or Liverpool didn't want to sell him to us, or whatever the restrictions were on the deal, and RB Leipzig made it easier because Liverpool wanted to sell him to a club that wasn't a threat. We don't know any of these things, but these things are entirely plausible, Eugene, right?
For sure. As the clip that you play, there are known knowns, there are known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. We don't know anything. The only thing that I do know is what happened in the past, right? I just go by the past, by last season. And then the rumors that are out there in the media. Rodrigo, Zabarni, it's just, some of them just don't make sense. So I'm assuming a lot of them are fake, right? They're just agents, putting out stories. And yeah, I agree with you. By end of the window, we could get our 10, we could get our left winger, our fullback. Maybe it's PTSD, but when Ange came in, especially last season, I was confident. I'm like, you know what? Things are going to change. We're going to give him players. We're going to go for it. and we only brought in Solanke, right? And it's been happening year in and year out. So again, could be PTSD. I could be biased. I just don't see I don't see a plan. I hope I'm wrong. Um, we'll see, I guess, by end of the window. Is just not bringing in somebody early, at least one player, is putting us behind the 8 ball. The season starting, against Burnley, I can see Burnley put up a low block against us, and it would be like it's going to be a 0-0 game because we don't have anybody who can break down a low block, and we haven't had anybody for years.
You don't think we can beat Burnley on the Sunday?
I mean, we should be able to, right? I think we'll beat them 1-0, like a set piece goal or Johnson tap in, but I'm not confident that we can break down a low block, to be honest. Who's going to do it?
The hardest
Sarr
thing
at the 10?
The hardest thing. It's far easier to nick a goal against a team that's expansive than it is to
Exactly.
a team that parks the bus.
So if we're going to lose 6, 7, 8 points because we didn't bring anybody in, and that's going to cost us top 6, right? That's an issue.
Oh, I see your point. So you're saying it's not so much about trusting that we'll get someone in by the window, because the window closes 2 weeks after the league starts. Yeah. By that time, we might have already lost a few points in the league.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That's going to cost us. So my point is,
that's a fair point.
I was hoping we'd get the players in by the preseason, as every manager wants. They get, to know their teammates. They learn the tactics. Otherwise, great. Very last day of the window, we're going to get 2 loans in, Grealish and somebody else. By that time, we're going to, lose out.
Who would be your number one signing, mate? Right now, if you could, if you had up to 100 million quid, you haven't got to spend it all in one go, but 100 million quid realistically on one signing right now, would it be Eze or would it be someone else? Eze, yeah.
Eze, before I was saying I love Eze in the vacuum as a player, but he didn't fit what we needed. But now with Maddison's injury, Eze is a perfect guy. He plays a 10. He can play on the left a bit. Eze for me, and again, it's a no-brainer. Like, to me, unless he told us I only want to go to Arsenal. But again, we've been looking at him for a couple of years. If we put if we put up the money for Gibbs White, I don't understand why 65 million is not available for Eze. Again, unless he said no to us, which
look, the people that I obviously, I won't mention any names. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but the people that are watching that know the people that are on this channel quite a lot that have relationships with people that are close to that story. Not just one person that I know you're all thinking of, but another guy who I've got to know quite a lot recently. They both said to me that that first of all the conversation is happening, and that secondly that if Tottenham were to put up the money, there'd be no problem on the players' part. So, but it hasn't progressed yet. So it's not a case, according to what I've heard, it's not a case that Eze is heads focused on Arsenal. It's more of a problem that none of the big teams seem to value him at the price point in which Crystal Palace want, which is closer to 70 million. They all see him closer to 55 for some reason. And I'm just at this stage though, because needs must, you pay a little. It's like when you if you lock yourself out of your house at 2 o'clock in the morning, or if you've got a pet that needs a procedure at 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, you're going to pay a lot more than you would do on a Tuesday morning. So it's needs must. If there's an emergency, then you pay more. And I think that Tottenham should be able to qualify that additional spend right now, because it would just solve so many issues.
I mean, if we value him at 55 and the release clause is 60, and the release clause is going to expire,
it's technically 68, yeah.
And it's going to expire soon, so I feel like it's going to be more difficult to get the deal done after the release clause expires. Yeah. It's just, I mean, I know 10 million is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's, again, for me, it just doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm missing something, but if we get Eze and Lookman, it would be 110 million? That would be great business. Or Fofana, or Bikatadze and Eze. I mean, there are players out there. So we can get one top starter and one decent starter, right? There's no reason why we can't. And honestly, if that's the case, I'd be okay with Grealish on loan. If we say Eze is a number 10 and we need a squad option who's going to help Eze out with Grealish, yes, I'm game. But Grealish as a day-to-day starter with his injury history and with everything, with his baggage, I don't want it.
Yeah, Jack
So-
Grealish should be like an add-on to what we're already doing, not the fundamental part of it. I completely agree.
Exactly.
Eugene,
So-
mate, I'm gonna say thank you
Yep.
so much for going for an hour. I've got a couple more people to bring on, mate. But thank you
Thanks,
so much
Tom.
for coming on. Anything you want me to plug, mate, or are you good?
Oh no, I'm incognito in WhatsApp groups and in
Well,
the chat.
Someone in the chat figure out where you can find it, Eugene. He reckons he's incognito. He's not.
No, please don't. Just smash the likes, subscribe. Don't look for
Appreciate
me.
you, mate. Cheers,
All right,
Eugene.
thanks,
Cheers, mate. Take care.
All right.
Just before I bring Crash in, guys, how you doing? It's got a couple of this is him actually. He's coming in. He's a new member. He must have just joined so he can come in and say hello. I can't wait to meet him. Appreciate you, Crash. I'll bring you in just a second, my man. Guys, there's 800 people here. Phenomenal numbers for a fan phoning show. Love to see it. Please do just smash the like button and hit the subscribe. Notification bell button should be squeezed and keep the comments going. I'm going to be bringing in Crash. If this is the same Crash that used to be around the channel a couple of years ago, then I think this guy knows a lot about football. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. I don't want to set his expectations amongst the clouds for people that are listening, but I'm pretty sure Crash has got some decent opinions. Let's bring him in and find out. Hi, Crash. How you doing, mate?
Hi. It's my first time on the stream.
How are
on
you?
any stream. So yes, it's me. From years before, I canceled my subscription, but now I'm back. So
it's good to have you, mate. This is your first time on any stream.
Yes.
Nice, man. What made you come on today?
I don't know. You haven't any people, so I think I should try and we'll see what happens.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. Listen, my memory of you from a couple of years ago is that you know a thing or two about football. So let's hear it, mate. How are you feeling about Tottenham right now? Where are you from, by the way? Where's the accent from?
I'm from Czechia, Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Nice. Okay. Talk to me, mate. Any superstars out of your part of the world? Any young up and coming superstars we should know about?
No.
No.
Our biggest superstar is Tomáš Souček or Patrick Schick.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I like Patrick Schick. Schick. He's getting on a bit now, though. Was he 30, 32, something, 33?
He's something like 30, and he is very injury prone.
Yeah. Tomáš Souček, I can't be a fan of him. Obviously why. West Ham man. We can't like that.
He's not quite technical player. So
no, that's right. So how are you feeling about Tottenham, Crash?
I think it's hard. I think we lost 3 players, Maddison, Kulusevski, and Son, which were doing.
Has he gone? Are you back? Sorry, you dropped out then for a second. Sorry, it's all good.
Son, Kulusevski, and Maddison, they were doing something like 20 GA for in all comps, and now they are not. So we have to find players with some output. I think not. Not players like Grealish. Yes, he's a very good player. He's a very good dribbler, but his output is practically not existent or very bad.
Yeah.
So
would you be looking? Would you prefer Tottenham to go and get someone like? Well, I mean, Ademola Lookman has output, right? He scores a lot of goals off the left. Or you could go and get someone like a Vissa from Brentford. Now that deal's not done to Newcastle. He gets 19 goals, non-penalties. Not bad, right?
Yes, these are players what I like. But maybe more players, maybe more goal scoring aids. Maybe more goal scoring striker, because Solanke is kind of player who isn't creating for himself or for others. He's clearly a goal scorer. In Bournemouth, they created for him 19 xG, so he scored 19 goals. Last year we created 7 or 9 xG in the Premier League, and he scored 7 or 9 goals. So he can score goals, but he isn't a creator like Kane or Son, who are capable to create it for themselves.
Would you take someone like is it Saibari from PSV? He's a midfielder, slightly plays more of a 10, but is more like a right-sided midfielder. He scored 18 goals last season. What's his first name? Ismail Saibari. Have you heard of him?
No, no, I didn't. And no.
Trying to think. So, how about someone like Sudakov then? Sudakov maybe from Shakhtar Donetsk. If we're looking for people that can play.
Sudakov is very interesting player. I think he's very, very talented. Maybe players like Conor Gallagher, I think he is capable of scoring goals more than our aides. Like Bentancur score goals sometimes from corner kicks or set pieces. Sarr is kind of goal scorer, but not enough. And when you are trying to help the team to find output for 3 great players, maybe sometimes you need 4 or 5 good players.
I definitely think you need. I mean, look, I think that's the problem, right? So if you, we were speaking about this with the first caller, in that you know the game has changed a little bit. Like strikers no longer score 20 goals a season, or very rarely, and they get spread around by midfielders or attacking midfielders or wingers. And so, you know, you need to find players that can contribute. At the moment, I'm looking at our squad and thinking Brennan Johnson is going to have to be shouldering a lot of responsibility. Even Mohamed Kudus, who, you know, I think a lot of people are going to be sort of expecting, because of what's happened elsewhere. I think there's a lot of expectation on Mohamed Kudus and to pull the weight. So I agree with you that I think we need like people like Jack Grealish. They're flashy. They can generate free kicks and things like that. But if Tottenham are going to replace what we've lost with Sonny, Decky, and Maddison, then we need to be looking at goals from elsewhere. And I'm just sort of I'm looking at the Y Scout list right now, trying to find players that can play in the 8, that can bang in sort of 8 to 10 goals that are realistic. I mean, Fabian Ruiz from PSG, he's not going anywhere. Fratesi, maybe from Inter. He's a player that you might be able to go and convince he can play in that sort of position. I don't know. Would you take Lee Kang in? Would you take him from PSG?
Lee Kang in? Yeah, maybe. Fratesi is player I like very much. He isn't a first team player in Inter, so I think he can be even cheap, or because Inter need the money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, exactly.
And some other players.
What about Marcus Leonardo from Al Hilal? The Brazilian guy. He scored 30 goals last year as a 10.
Yeah.
You know him? Marcus Leonardo?
Yeah, I know. Also a very talented player. He was in Barcelona, I think.
Yeah, beforehand, yeah.
Yeah. So we need output. I think we lost more than 60 goals. And we find 60 goals. We have to find 60 goals somewhere, or maybe even more.
What about Pulisic? Would you ever think about getting Pulisic, the American guy who went to Milan?
Yeah, good player too. I think Italy is a great league for him. It's not that physical. So I think, Pulisic is a very good player. He's versatile too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, mate. Your internet's breaking up a little bit, buddy, so it's difficult to hear you. But are you? How confident are you going into Bayern Munich on Thursday? Do you think we've got a good chance, or?
I think that we will be very pragmatic, like other preseason games. I think, we can. We have chance. We can play some good transitions. We are a threat from set pieces, and it's very important for Thomas Frank to learn about his team something new.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what's your score prediction for Thursday, then, mate?
I don't know, 2-2.
You think Palhinha will start?
Yeah, I think Palhinha will definitely start.
Do you think he's a really important player for Tottenham? How, like, in terms of needle movers, in terms of how much value? I was saying this for ages. I was like, if I don't care if he's a loan deal, I don't care if you pay all of his wages, I don't care if it's a big fee. He's been a player that we've needed for so many years. I hope that he's the same player that he was when he left England before. I don't know, but if he's anything like the Fulham player, I think he is going to be worth his weight in gold. I think he's going to be sensational for Tottenham this season, or in our efforts. But none of it matters. We might be able to shrink our goals conceded by 30% with him, but if you haven't got someone to put the ball in the net at the top end, then it's all for nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Jose Mourinho wanted Palhinha.
Yeah,
Palhinha into Spurs, and I think he is great destroyer. He has a very good percentage of his passes, also successful passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great six. He can play single pivot, which is very important. We can play 4-3-3 some matches. So I think he's a very good player. He will be very important for us.
Yeah.
This season, and I think we can eventually both buy him in future. Maybe not for 30, but for 20, 25. I think it can be good business.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Last question for you, Crash, mate. I've got a few people that need to come in as well, buddy. I really appreciate you coming on. But last question for you. What's your number one? If you could have £100 million right now for one player that you could get, who would it be? Who would you spend it on? Who's the most important signing for Tottenham tomorrow morning?
I would go for Harvey Elliott.
Really?
Yeah.
If you could have anybody tomorrow morning, you go for Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, I think we need a 10. We need a creative player. He can play 8. He can play 10. He can play on the wing. I think he has a good output. I think he can be very good player. And I very like this player.
Amazing. All right, fair enough. I wasn't expecting you to say him. It's interesting, Crash. Mate, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, buddy. We've got a few more people to jump in now. So I appreciate you coming on, mate. I'll see you again in a couple of weeks for the next show.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Take care, mate. Bye. That was Crash, everybody. Please say thank you to Crash. And we're going to move on to the next story. Next story. Maybe it is a story. We'll find out. His name is Johnny Boy. We know Johnny Boy. He's been on the show so many times. How are you, John? Good to see you, mate.
I'm good, mate. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine, buddy. No internet problems. No internet problems. How's things, mate? How's things?
Oh, well, since I came and sat here, I've been in, tidied the kitchen, took the dog for a walk, was listening the whole time on the phone, came back, just as Eugene left, so I was ready for you. All good.
Well, this is the thing. I feel bad because when I started out, I was like, "There's no one here," so it was just me and Steve, and I was like, "We'll just keep chatting." And then obviously, when you give him 25 minutes, the next guy's got to get 25. You know, you go, "I'm going to be here for 5 hours now." So, but it's all good. It's all good. There's yourself and Axeteros. So I spoke. I think he messaged me on the phone or the email yesterday. So looking forward to meeting him. Johnny boy, where are we at, mate? Where are we at, buddy? What's going on? I'm going to start with the question that I finished on with Crash there. If you had £100 million right now, like as in like, you know, basically take your pick of the world market for one realistic signing, who do you go and get?
I mean, I do like Harvey Elliott, but I am not spending all our money on Harvey Elliott.
Oh, I'm not saying you spend 100 million. I'm just saying if it was basically
sorry, Crash.
Take your pick. Yeah.
If anyone you wanted,
well, anyone that's realistic. The reason I give you £100 million is I'm playing like forget about budget. Yeah, realistically.
Because I'm going for Salah and Lamine Lamar.
Yeah, they're not coming.
All
They're
that
not coming to Tottenham.
Oh God, what do we need? We need another fullback, but that's not priority, is it? We've got our 6. We need the creative 10 type player ultimately, don't we? We probably still need another winger. But if you look at it, we've got he's not a winger, but we've got Johnson and Kudos for the right. We've got Odebear and Tel for the left. Every other kid we've got is being loaned out, which I quite like, but I'm a bit worried we're going to be short when it comes to the crux of it. When we have all these Champions League games and all the Premier League games, I think it's going to catch up with us. So I do think we need to look at quality. The trouble is squad size, because we're already bloated. We've got to get some senior players out. Oh God, I mean, Paqueta's not a bad shout, mate. He's not a bad shout at all.
Yeah, he'd be one of my top 3 or 4.
I think he can fill a number of.
He's got creativity. Exactly. He can multitask. He's a beast as well. I'm not worried. I don't care who you're playing against. I don't care if you're playing against Real Madrid, if you're playing against Newcastle away, you're playing against City, Arsenal. Like if you've got Palhinha, Paqueta, and I don't think it matters. Like Palhinha, Paqueta, and Berghvall, I think that midfield's a match for most. I think they're physically dominant. Have you seen how big Palhinha is, by the way? He's a fucking unit. Yeah, but he's broad, he's deep, he's like he stands up tall, something I need to do. I'm like the hunchback of Butler Dam over here. But he's just an absolute like unit of a guy. You know, I can't wait to see him. And imagine if you had Voskovic at the back as well. I mean, just that crunch ability is just would be terrifying, you know, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he's going alone, isn't he? But
yeah,
I think it was one of the things that was said early on in Frank's time with us that he was trying to get bigger players. Just, you know, the set piece thing is obvious because we were shocking, and clearly in pre-season we've made improvements and that side of it. And you want a big team. It's the way football's going. You can only be I'm only 5'8". You can only be my size if you are Luka Modric, or you know you've got that absolute skill, or if you're Aaron Lennon because you're so fast. Otherwise, everyone's going to be 6 foot plus. I'll tell you what I did find funny when I saw Lucas Berghvall against that Korean martial arts bloke, the massive unit. Was he 7'3" or something? He picked up Sonny. He made Berghvall look like a little kid. Did you not see that?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh mate, it's all over the internet. Basically, one of Sonny's mates is this Korean martial arts guy, and he's a bit like Jaws. Do you remember Jaws from Bond?
Yeah.
He's that sort of size. He's absolutely massive. He just Berghvall looked tiny. It was brilliant. I'll have to find the clip for you.
What do you think about our window, mate? Like, are you where are you at? Are you panicking, or are you where I'm at, which is like we don't know what's going on, and there's as much chance as nothing happening tomorrow as there is waking up to a Tottenham are interested in this, and then before the end of the day, it's done. Like the fact that we don't know what's going on, is that a source of frustration? But it's probably better than the Newcastle alternative. And obviously, they're two extremes, right? Not knowing anything and then waiting only encourages like speculation and negative energy. And then you get these little moments of like bang, bang, done. Whereas the Newcastle thing, where Newcastle fans have got something to chew over and then panic about every 5 minutes. Obviously, the middle would be somewhere that we would have liked to see a bit more of. But are you someone that hates this, or are you someone that sort of you embrace it and it's like, you know, you're okay with it as long as it ends up okay in the end?
In a way, I hate it. But in a way, my favourite 2 Spurs signings were Jurgen Klinsmann and Rafa van der Vaart, and they both came completely out of the blue. And that I love that moment. I mean, Odegaard was a bit underwhelming because we didn't know a lot about him in the grand scheme of things, but that was out of the blue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that leaked, and 2 hours later we were officially done. So
that's Johan Lang, though, isn't it? That is Johan Lang. That's like the vast majority of Tottenham's transfers under him have been that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Romano gets his information from Paratici. That's a known fact. And Paratici, his deal to be a consultant, it runs to the end of the window, I understand. I think I heard today on a podcast, which I didn't realize. I thought, because my impression was once his ban was up, we were going to bring him in, but that's obviously what we're doing. And maybe we're going to review it.
We'll probably bring him in anyway, but there's no point in, if he's on a consultancy contract, you're not going to pay him twice, are you, sort of thing? So,
no,
you know?
No, absolutely not. And I think it gives Vinay a chance to look, and even whatever Charrington's doing, actually have a look at the workings of what happens. You look at Newcastle, you know, the comment there, Newcastle fans are losing their stuff. Their whole recruitment team's basically disappeared. They've lost quite a lot of top management there. And that's why they're having problems getting one of the reasons they're having problems getting deals over the line.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's you need to judge the window really at the end. Hi, Connor. At the end, but also 6 months later, because you need to see how players bed in. We all thought Bissouma was a really good signing, and unfortunately, it hasn't really come to pass that he has been, because he's had too many brain farts and too many moments where he switched off. But if you look at his attributes, he's the sort of player we need. But for some reason, I don't know if it's a mentality thing, he just doesn't do it. Sadly,
not consistently. He's a 70% guy, isn't he? 70% of the time he's all right. 30% of the time he hurts you. And if you're going to have a starting six, you know, you need someone. And like I say, unfortunately, because of his foreign quota contingent, you know, if you're trying to move players on, you can't like. I don't know what the deal is with Decky, because some people are telling me he's out until spring. Other people are telling me he's back in September. So I don't know if he's out until spring. Then you can leave him out of the Champions League squad, and you could probably leave him out of the. You right, mate? Looking at the chat, someone giving you what I can see your eyes.
Shut up, John. Fake news.
Choppy cheese. He likes to inhale farts, apparently, with his super chats. There you go. There's a perfect example. I'd fart on Momo. Yeah, I just think that I don't know what's going on with Decky, and obviously with Maddison, we haven't even had a scan yet, apparently, because his knee's still swollen.
He's out for 6 months minimum.
Yeah,
I can't see anything else, because that was the same knee injury before. The way he went down, he hadn't. I know you thought at the time he had touched someone, but when you actually look at the replay and get a chance to, he doesn't get near the guy. It's those innocuous ones. They're always worse. They're pretty much always worse. And it's going to be his ACL or MCL, I think. And they always have to wait 4 or 5 days for the swelling to go down before they can do the scan. And I'll be amazed if he's back before Christmas, but it could be almost the whole season. And what we know about Maddison is he's slow to get back to form.
Yeah.
He's a slow healer, and he's slow to get back to form.
I think Tottenham are going to sell him anyway, to be honest. I think had he got back and not got injured, I wouldn't have been surprised if we had moved him on this summer or in January. But now that he's a broken record, I don't think that he's ever going to get back to his level. What is he, 29 years old, 28, 29, 30? I don't know how old he is, but he's certainly a problem. I think he might be a problem for our numbers for a while. You know, and so that's the problem. Like with people like Bissouma, they're fit. If they don't want to leave, then you've got an issue on your hands, because you might want to bring players in, but you know, Tottenham are not the sort of team that do it the way that Chelsea do, where you just buy everybody in and then you move everybody else on later. We haven't got enough people in the technical team that are taking care of these deals, whereas Chelsea must. The amount of deals that Chelsea go through, like they must have like 7 or 8 people in their staff that can take care of these deals, that have got the authority and the delegation to be able to do these things, you know?
Yeah. Maddison is 28, 29 in November. So realistically, you know, if when you have these bad injuries, we know, and we looked at Bentancur, we didn't know how Bentancur would come back. And I still don't think he's back to the player he was before. Maybe that's the system he's been playing in, but I don't think he's quite got that little bit he had before he was injured. It does affect players, and the older you are, the harder it is to come back. And the trouble with Maddison, I would expect him as he gets older maybe to drop back, but I mean, he did that under Ange, and I don't think he's strong enough physically. Some players can do that, and they've got the physicality that they can play that deeper role, but I don't think he can. So I think you're right. I think he'll end up leaving at some point, but it may not be next summer because he needs to be playing again before any team's going to really take a punt on him. I don't know. Is he on a 5-year or 6-year contract? Can you remember?
Who, Maddison?
Yeah.
5-year.
5 years. So he's got 3 years left now. So maybe a year off. Maybe we sell him up in the January in 18 months' time, or even in 2 years' time, or we end up having to loan him.
The way that he went down, you know, it's a bad one, don't you? He knew it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Know? Yeah. Yeah. I was confused at first because he actually keeps sort of stepping, but he knew straight away.
And it was hop. Yeah. No, please. Oh yeah, no, it's done. I think on the live stream, I think I went, "I'll get up, Maddison. It's a friendly. Stop with the melodramatics." And then Johnny was like, "No, Sean, I think he's in trouble, bro." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
He does have a reputation for it, though, doesn't he? Of just going down and rolling around, but a lot of the time because he does get kicked in the same ankle, and it's also the right leg, and it was his right ankle that he did early on at Spurs that put him out in the Chelsea game, and that stems back to Man United at home, which was Ange's first home game, I think, when we won 2-0. He had a block tackle, but he cut inside in the first half to shoot right-footed, and possibly Bruno, someone may remember in the chat, block tackled him to block the shot, and that's what did his ankle, and he was being nursed through games because he didn't complete a whole game up until that Chelsea game, I don't think, because they were nursing him through, and then it went in the Chelsea game. And when you do your ankle, it can affect your biomechanics. If you remember back to Jamie Redknapp, he retired age 31, and that's because he'd had an ankle injury when he was much younger, and it affected his knee, and it caused him all sorts of problems with his knee as he got older. And it might be that there's an element of that with Maddison.
Yeah.
That said, we're 20 years down the line, and sports science has come on tremendously since then. So you'd hope not, but there is that possibility. And the fact he was out for over the summer, basically, and had to come back from the injury because he played 5 minutes against Arsenal, and then he'd been off for 15 minutes in the Newcastle game. It's about getting back. Your muscles have got to be built up properly, and you can do so much, but trying to play football on different pitches, because the pitches are different in Asia to they are in Europe, aren't they? I think, and it's going to affect the way you twist and turn, and even landing. There's all sorts of variables in it, and there's always a risk when you come back from injury. You will injure yourself. I mean, I speak as a runner. I've got injuries at the moment, and it's all sort of stemmed from previous injuries, and it's how you can work on it. Now, obviously, he's got professional coaches to work with him, so I don't really have that advantage, and he's much younger than me. But these things can just happen, unfortunately. When you're an elite athlete and you're working at that top level, you are pushing yourself to the limit, and it's so easy just to flip over, which is why, unfortunately, these injuries happen.
So if we think he's out then, and Decky, we don't know, but like I say, mixed reports, either late September or into spring. Either way, where do you go with the priorities? Well, how do I say this? Let me sort of take you back to the story, the point I was making to Steve around how the fan base loses their shit. Forget about the Newcastle Tottenham comparison, but was it Steve or was it the guy after who was saying the problem is that I think it was Eugene, that was saying this. Eugene was saying that there's he wants to see people see Tottenham go after people in Europe, right? There's a lot of talent in Europe, but our scouting system is shit. And I mentioned one like Malik Fofana, and he was like, "Well, it's a big risk." I was like, "So where do what is it you want? Do you want us to go after someone like a Jack Grealish who is tried and tested in the Premier League? Do you want us to go for another sort of winger that's in the Premier League? Maybe someone at obviously not Nottingham Forest, but someone like I don't know, trying to think off the top of my head, a Bailey at Aston Villa or something like that." Or would you rather see Tottenham, go further afield into Europe and see if you can get someone for good value that's coming from Spain that might not necessarily have or Germany that might not necessarily have the kind of, the tried tested experience, but that ultimately is a little bit kind of more just off the Richter, but ultimately might come in and surprise everybody to the upside? What would you like to see?
Spain, I generally would avoid because we've got a terrible record with players brought from La Liga, apart from Bale and Van der Vaart. I can't think of many others. Most of the other ones have been misses more than hits. I think an element of this is us trying to get shift players, because we need to shift players out the door as much, not necessarily just for the transfer income, but to get them off the books. And whichever players we get rid of might then mean we need to fill that hole. So if we manage to get rid of Richarlison, which I'm not convinced we will do, then we're going to need a striker, aren't we? Because we've sent Lancashire out. I'm not convinced Tel is that player. I think he can do a job on occasion, but he shouldn't be our second striker. Solanke obviously seems to have injury issues, and he took so long to get back to any sort of form after his injury in January that he's got to have some serious competition. Richie, we know, has got injury problems, so if we can move him on, then we need somebody who can play that role. Going back to Decky, I think the trouble is, even if he comes back in September, he's not going to be up really flying until what? Christmas?
Yep.
It's going to take him time to get back to. He's missed so much football. It's going to take him time to get his body up. And he's a very physical player as well, isn't he? He goes into challenge. He's more likely to get injured again. So that would be my worry with him. So yeah, we definitely do need a creative player. So we might need to buy two, ultimately, unless he thinks Kudos will play that role, or if he's going to change it. And Johnson, we've talked about Johnson so many times about how he basically offers nothing except for the most important thing in football. He puts the ball in the net. If Frank can find a way to put him into positions and maybe play a front two, I don't know, or switch it, but it looks like he wants to play the 4-3-3, doesn't he? With one of the midfield three being a 10.
Do you think a left winger, though, is as vital when you've got Tel and Udogie? We spent a lot of money on them, but they might not have impressed enough yet to be confident. But do you see us spending another like 50, 60, 70 million quid on someone in that position specifically? And then at the same time, cop blocking one of those two, and also Micky Moore next year when he comes back and everything else.
Only if they can play as a centre forward as well.
Right.
So I mean, there will be players out there. Obviously, an example, and I'm not saying I'd want him, and he's gone to Barcelona, would be Rashford, because he can do both those roles. But there will be other players out there that can potentially do that role. And it seems that, I mean, he's got this thing of turning left wingers into strikers. So you think probably that's where he wants to go with Tel. We've seen Udogie play the 10 role. I'm not convinced by him there. I don't know how much you've seen him there, because I think he played there for Burnley a few times. I mean, Lookman is an option, and he's obviously falling out with Atalanta.
He scored 23 goals last year.
Was it that many? Right.
Not all in Serie A, but in like across all comps, and that 23 goals. I'm looking down the list of left wingers in world football, and I'm thinking, if we're prioritizing GA or goals, obviously Luis Diaz, he's gone. Cody Gakpo's not going anywhere. Cunha's just moved. Bradley Barcola's not leaving. Lookman's top of the pop. Noah Lang has just moved. He's not going anywhere. Kovic isn't going anywhere. Actor Koglu from Benfica. I don't think he's gone yet back to Turkey, and he got 15 goals. He's an absolute baller. Kerem Aktürkoğlu, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I don't think he's left yet and gone back to, because he was supposed to be going back to Turkey. Here's a name for you. What do you think about Kevin Sade, the Brentford winger?
Brentford?
Yeah,
they're not selling
he got 12 goals last year.
They're never going to sell it. I mean, he wasn't. A lot of people were quite surprised he got that Brentford got him, and thought, is he the right sort of player? He's not that good a player. He's very, very quick, and again, Frank developed him to a very effective player for them. But they've obviously lost Romero. They lost.
And they're the England striker, probably, aren't they?
Who's the England striker that went to Saudi? My brain's one that was banned.
What's his name? I'll take him back, by the way, in a heartbeat. Come on, chat. Help me out here.
Yeah, what's his name? We all wanted him last year. Ivan Toney. Thank you, Jack.
Well done, Jackie boy.
But Vissa's obviously on the and Flowers put it in the private chat. Vissa, he obviously wants out as well. I'd love Vissa, but it seems to have gone very quiet, so I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe quiet's a good thing. Maybe quiet.
Maybe Lang is working in mysterious ways.
100%. You never know. But okay, so if you could have one of Vissa or Kevin Sade, who would you have?
Vissa.
You'd have Vissa all day long, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, Karim Adeyemi, he's at Dortmund, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is?
Rapid.
He's
Rapido.
Yeah, he scored that brilliant goal, didn't he, in the Champions League?
Would you take Samu Agahawa from Porto?
I don't know enough about him, so I couldn't really comment, to be honest.
He's a baller. I think he got like 23 goals last season or something, or 18.
I mean, we've seen some good
goals.
players come from Portugal, haven't we? Into the English league.
You've seen some shots as well. Look, you've seen, Tottenham. Who did Tottenham sign? Who was the Portuguese player that Tottenham signed back in the day?
We had Helder Postiga. We've had Jedson Fernandez.
Helga and yeah. We haven't done too well. Pedro Porro's about the only one.
Porro came from there. He's not Portuguese, but he was in Portugal, wasn't he?
That's true. That's true.
Pedro Mendes. He was a very good player.
I like Pedro Mendes.
Yeah. Robbed of one of the best goals in Premier League history by a linesman that was blind at Old Trafford. So, Jose Dominguez. There's another one. Yeah.
Would you take Alejandro Garnacho, John?
I think the problem with him is not his footballing ability. I think it's his supposed attitude. So it really depends on Frank's got his no dickheads policy, hasn't he? If Frank will know what he's like, and they ring round and they ask questions about players, and they'll know if it's that true. It could just be that Amorim doesn't fancy him, and it's just, when you get a manager doesn't fancy you fall out with them, don't you?
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure,
it's a really hard one to tell. On the face of it, he's a good enough footballer, but is he a twat? Is really the question.
Yeah, but like I say, if he ends up at Tottenham, you would have to assume that Thomas Frank's aware of that, had a chat with him, and then made the decision that he thinks he's okay, he can be worked with, and then it's worth the crack. Right? If he ends up at Tottenham, you'd hope that filtering process has taken place, and if the answer is still yes, then you'd probably go, okay. Then if Thomas Frank thinks he can get the best out of him, then it's worth it, right?
I mean, Garnacho can play left or right, because I've seen him play both sides of United. The question, if he's been brought in as a left winger, that means Tel's going to be our striker, which, again, I'll be a bit worried about him as our second striker at the moment. But at the same time, Frank's probably looking, he knows he's got a bit of time. He's not going to get binned off in the first season. So is he looking a longer term goal going, I'm going to turn this guy into a top striker the way he did with Tony and Visser and Mbuemo, because he's shown he can do it, and it's not just him, but it's his coaching team, isn't it? It's the whole package.
Yeah, 100%. Johnny boy, let me ask you the last question, mate. Tomorrow night, what's your thoughts? Are we beating Bayern Munich?
So if you take it purely in fitness, we should do. They've only had one pre-season. They obviously only got knocked out of the World Club Cup literally just a month ago. So they've only probably been in training for a week, maybe 2 weeks, whereas we've been almost 4 weeks now, I think, the majority of our players. So on fitness, we should do, but buying a quality ultimately. And we are still a work in progress under a new manager. But as I always say, it's pre-season. It doesn't mean anything, really. It's great to see the positives. There might be some negatives we look at and go, oh, this is a bit iffy. But you've got to wait until the season starts. The season, we got 2 points from 8 games. We won 7 out of and drew 1 pre-season game. We beat Roma 5-0. We beat Feyenoord 3-0. We looked brilliant with Dos Santos and Bentley and players like that, and we were terrible at the beginning of the season. So I always say, don't get excited either way. Just see how it goes. The only positive,
not the way, mate, is it? If we beat Bayern Munich tomorrow night, everything will be forgiven. Especially if it's a bomber drops, live on the Spurs 5 tomorrow night. It will be just like the Arsenal game. We smash the Arsenal, Polinia drops, and then everyone's happy for about 24 hours. And then everyone says, well, that was yesterday. What have you done for me lately? That's the way it works.
The Arsenal game is funny because it's just good for banter, really.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I mean, the important thing is what we've seen is that we're becoming very defensively compact.
Yeah.
Which isn't the Tottenham way, but after the last 2 seasons, we need to see that we can actually defend, and then we can play.
I never thought I'd ever find myself saying we need some defensive solidarity, some structure. I've always been like, let's just play good football. Sorry, you can't do that with the absence of defending.
Yeah, absolutely. And the games when we did defend under Ange, mainly in Europe, we didn't play at all. Literally, that final obviously was about winning it, and we just backed them at 32. There's good odds.
Yeah, I'll have 20 quid on that, I think. 100%.
Is it going to go to penalties? There's a cup for this, isn't there? It's not the Audi Cup. There is a cup. Apparently, there's another cup for this. So
imagine if we end up with 4 cups, mate, before this. Like Ange gets 1, Thomas Frank gets 3 before the season even starts. And that's a tartar. That's what we like to see.
I'd say PSG haven't played yet either, obviously, because they finished really late in the Club World Cup. So hopefully they'll be completely shocking in the Super Cup final. I've got a couple of mates going over there, so we'll see.
I should be going as well, mate, but I couldn't be bothered with the train journey. No, I was going to go, but then I thought, just sitting on a train, probably with PSG fans. This man who's about to come on now reached out to me and said, if you want, I can pick you up from Austria and we'll drive in together. And just for what it's like, even if I mean, I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but just generally speaking, I would never get into a car with a stranger. So like rule one would be a bad idea, but we're going to find out what Alexander's like right now. He didn't hear that because his earpiece his headphones were out for a second. Johnny boy, I'll let you go, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. Let me plug your channel for you, mate. What's coming up on Lads It's Tottenham?
Well, we're actually broadcast. When you finish, if you want to redivert to our channel, HG and Jack are on there now doing a live show.
Sure.
So the Lads It's Tottenham is the YouTube channel. The Cheese Room Pod is an audio pod separate. They used to be the same thing, but they're separate now. So if you listen to audio pods, just search Cheese Room. We've got a different set of guys on there to do that from the YouTube generally, but that goes out after games normally. We've got two hosts there who rotate who's hosting it, and say the Lads It's Tottenham is every Tuesday. Connor's a regular on the Grumpy Old Spurs show, and just ad hoc we put shows out at times. I think HG and Jack are just looking at the squad numbers and where we're at and what we need to lose. So once you've watched this show, if you don't watch it tonight, watch it tomorrow. Catch up. So thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate you, John. Please subscribe to Lads It's Tottenham. And I will, after the show, mate, I'll read, if they're still going, I'll redirect across. Thanks, mate. I appreciate you, mate.
Cheers,
Johnny.
See you soon,
mate. Take care. All right, let's bring in Mr. Alexander. How you doing, Alex? Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Hi. How are you? Can you hear me?
Everything fine? Fine, buddy. Good to see you.
Perfect.
Thank you for the offer for the drive to Udogie,
I still have the opportunity to get you a ticket because you have to imagine, like, being a foreign fan. I'm from Austria, from Vienna. When I go to Tottenham, to the stadium once a year, I have to book the ticket via a broker, or a travel agency, which of course it costs a lot of more money. But you need to have the security of getting a ticket before you book a flight, book the hotel, because London is so expensive, man. Yeah. So that's the only chance for us foreigners to get a ticket. So
did you buy a ticket from one of those brokers for the?
Yeah. Well, actually, I reserved two because I thought that a friend.
Okay, wow.
I thought a friend would come, but they said it's too expensive. I think it's £350, between £350 and £360. I don't know. If you would have gotten a ticket, it would have been a lot cheaper, I assume.
If you can get it through the club, if you get it through season ticket applications, I'd imagine it would be. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have had enough points. To get the ticket myself.
It's a small
stadium, isn't it? So.
Like, for such an event, it's really small.
And it's weird that it was in. It's like you can't. There's no airport in the city. It's just a strange.
But it's like, I think that's the thing. Because you said to Lubo last night that you were worried about Paris Saint-Germain fans, which I get because there's a history of violence there. And I think people don't get, if you look at the map, that the airport in Klagenfurt is obviously the nearest. Yeah, it's nearer than Venice.
Is that the nearest airport? Is it?
Yeah. It's in Austria, though, of course. So, but it's a 90 minutes drive from Klagenfurt down to
that's
Udine.
interesting because no one knew that. Because if you go on to like a Skyscanner website and you say, I want to fly from London to Udine or Udine, however you say it,
Udine,
they tell you to fly to either one of the airports in Italy, or even to fly into is it Slovenia or one of the on the other side of the border. So it never suggested I could fly to Austria.
Yeah, probably because Klagenfurt is a very small airport, but Ryanair flies direct from London, and it's really quite inexpensive. Well,
thank you very much for the offer, mate. It's very, very, very nice of you. Unfortunately, I've now got plans, mate, but it's genuinely very, very nice of me. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Tottenham, mate? As a guy who you're not from England, you probably don't get caught up too much in the local environment. But obviously, if you spend a lot of time online listening to us You know, you might
Every
get caught
day.
up in some of the, you might get caught up. I mean, listen, I try to stay away from the kind of like the uber negative stuff, but to some people, I mean, look, there's one guy that's coming on after you, James. He loves to get sucked into the negativity, you know. So, how are you feeling? Are you quite calm about the rest of the transfer window?
Well, I feel. I mean, I have to admit, I was devastated when I saw Maddison go down in that game, and I thought to myself, we need to do something. And I have to admit, I was now a little worried again because I thought that Decky would come back like at the beginning of September. I mean, but obviously there's so many rumors going on. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
And who can play what? I don't know. I mean, the only thing is, this is something I really have to tell you now, because coming from Austria, of course, a lot of my friends focus more on the German league than the Premier League. And most of them, of course, favor Bayern Munich, because when they were little, they were the most successful team, so they followed them. And all of them say Mathys Tel is a striker. He was shoehorned to become a left winger because Sané was injured so much. Mm-hmm. And he never really made it there. And then when Tuchel went and company came, of course, it made things harder for him. But like all my German friends and also my Austrian, like Bayern experts, they say he is a striker and he should never play on the left. And really? It's so funny because, like, from what I hear on your channel, but also like with Ben and Sim or like the other Tottenham journalists, all of them, because of course he played mostly from the left and they see him as a left winger. So actually, I would not be surprised to see him in the center of the pitch more often in the future. Taking into account that sorry?
Do you think he's a good enough finisher?
Well, you know, he was 17 back then, and he had some great opportunities when I think Lewandowski was injured for a while. So he was thrown in as a 17-year-old super talent, and he played really well, earned his contract, and and then things kind of went sideways when Sané got injured and he had to play on the left. So I think the talent is there. I think you would agree. Do we have the time now? But because so much talent we have, but we play a final next week. The talent doesn't matter. And I have to admit, I was really confused because we have so many, so few players that we can register for the Champions League. Yeah. And the few players, the talents that we do not have to register and would be able to play, like Mikey Moore, like Alfie Devine, also Dorrington, and
Jamie Donnelly,
Donnelly, exactly,
yeah, all these guys,
they could play. We do not need them to register them, and we loan them out. And I mean, I get it; it will foster I get it, but I think this is a really risky game because remember last year they played even Abbott and all these youngsters, even not like the superstar youngsters that we have, but also the others. They had to play because the injury crisis was so bad. So and now Decky is injured, Maddison is injured, Donnelly is gone. I know Mikey Moore, like, if need be, he could play. He's in Scotland. It's like, who else is left? So coming back to the transfer window, because you asked me that.
I feel like, sorry, just super quick. I feel like we don't know what we don't know, right? As fans, we see the players minutes here, minutes there, highlights on YouTube. I think that, like, if the argument is you shouldn't, let's use Luka Vuskovic, right? Just as an example. He looks like the most ready to me of most of them. I think he's a big guy. He looks physically competitive. I don't know if he's good enough, but he's never had a problem at any level that's been asked of him. And then you see, you've got no Radu Dragusin. No one wants Ben Davies. You have essentially 3 fit centre-backs at the moment in Romero, Van der Ven, and Danso. And the first from 2 Austria. Of those... Yeah, I love Kevin Danso. Is great, man. He's one of my favourite players. I think he's fantastic. Shout out to Austrian Danso. But those two players in Romero and Van der Ven both have massive injury histories in the past. Now, you've got Kota Takai that's got some, Lubo was telling me last night, some crazy injury with his the sort of the muscle or the ligament
in the
or whatever
foot,
in the foot. So God knows how long that's... And I can't believe we would sign a player that's injured. It's weird. But you have Luka Vuskovic. And so the argument, if the argument is the reason you loan him out is so that he will play minutes, knowing what we do about Tottenham Hotspur's injury record, he would be playing minutes at Tottenham this year. He absolutely would. Like, in all likelihood, just if the trend continues, he'd be in the first team by September because of injuries to Van der Ven or Romero. So unless Tottenham see it differently to how most of us see it, then it just must be that they see them more often in training than we do. And they've come to the conclusion that they're not ready for Premier League football week in, week out.
There is this young guy, Archie Gray. He played centre back, which is not even his position last year. A lot of the times he did well, not exceptional, but he did really well, taking into account that he's not a defender. I mean, I would prefer to have a Croatian national team player, even if he's young and not ready, playing as a centre back.
Yeah.
Which is his position. And like, I mean, just the first 10, if the first 10 minutes of him playing is anything like what he could be, then like, yeah. I'm bought. You got me. That's him. And I agree with you. And the argument, he's not ready yet. I don't think that Archie Gray was ready, but he was growing with the...
You throw them in, right? Sometimes exactly. You throw them in. How many players... There's a never-ending list of players in the history. I'm trying to think of any right now, and none of them are coming to mind. But there is, I'm sure, a very long list of players who weren't ready and that they got a chance when an injury happened or when some twist of fate, gave them the chance, and they were thrown in the deep end, and then they stole their moment and they went with it. And
like I just think Berghvall as well. Berghvall last year.
Berghvall, perfect example.
Berghvall, he was not in the first 11, and at the end of the season, he was the first man on the sheet. So nobody thought of that. And I mean, I don't know what it's with Dorrington and Phillips. Are we ever going to see them again? And
no, I don't think so. I think Dorrington is essentially. I mean, I don't even know how long he has left on his contract, but Aberdeen, Scottish football, he'll probably do another year there, and then he'll probably get a permanent move. I don't think you'll see Dorrington in a Tottenham shirt. Ash Phillips, I've got no idea about. People tell me he's really good. If he's that good, then why isn't he hanging around? He's gone back out. He's gone back out to the Championship again, right? So, everyone talks about how great our youth system is. Some of these youth team players are 21 years old now, Alex, and they're not breaking through. Now you can make the argument, well, look, Harry Kane. It took Harry Kane until he was 22, but like that's sort of obviously he's the exception to the rule, both on how late he was to develop and how great he was at the end.
Well, obviously something really bad has to happen, like a lot of injuries. Then you have to throw them in, and then you're like, oh, well, they can do something. And Berghvall is a perfect example, and Archie Gray. I mean, I'm happy now that he's playing more in the center, that's why we bought him. And that's actually where Frank already wanted him back when he was at Brentford. So I'm really looking forward to that, how that develops. And if he's really such a great developer of talent, then I would think, yes, if you have to be loaned out, I get it, but keep like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And bet them in gradually,
100%,
something
100%.
like that. And I think, I'm with you. Vuskovic, I'm pretty sure he would have played, yes.
Just because I think I saw Sava in the chat there saying he wouldn't have played, Sean. The point I'm making, Sava, is just looking at the way that Tottenham have injuries. If at the moment we only have 3 fit injuries and fit centre-backs, and 2 of them are injury prone to the point of only playing 50% of minutes, then the likelihood is that one of those is going to get injured. And if Kota Takai wasn't ready, then we immediately would need to be bringing Vuskovic in. So he would get minutes early in the season, because that Tottenham have horrendous injury problems, and our medical team is absolutely horrendous at making them right again. And even when they think that they're ready, they're not ready. Look at Maddison. That might be bad luck, but Maddison wasn't the first, and he certainly won't be the last person who was rushed back from injury It happened to Romero, and it happened to Micky van der Ven at crucial moments last season. So, I think that Vuskovic would play. So the point is that if the argument is we shouldn't keep him here because he needs minutes to develop, and therefore he should go out on loan to Hamburg, well, he would get minutes at Tottenham if he stayed. If the argument is either that he's not good enough in the eyes of the coaches, then fair enough. I don't know. They know more than I do. My thought, I think he looks like he would be, but what do I know? Or if the argument is it's not a problem anyway because we have enough money to do what we need to do, and that includes buying another centre-back, then fair enough as well. But then let's see that money being spent, please, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, but then we are again with this cock blocking. And I'm sorry, I really think that we have such a great pool of talent here. And if you buy players in that positions, it's the same like Mikey Moore. Getting Rodrigo, fuck yes, of course. Get me Rodrigo. Probably Lookman would make more sense. I'm with you here. But because I think such a superstar will only make troubles. Although I think Rodrigo is really a fine player, and he would definitely change the mood also around the club, because then we have this marquee signing that you always predicted. And obviously also the club highest earner in like
I need it. After the whole Morgan Gibbs White thing, the 100%. I'm on thin ice with my predictions.
Yeah, but actually, you're so funny. This is why I'm watching your channels, and because you're so funny. And I have to admit, also, I understand your English quite well. There are some guys out there, and because there is no German channel for Tottenham, I think there was one, and they don't know what they're talking about. Because you're there, You've been a Tottenham fan probably forever, Most of the foreign fans, and maybe that's my hope for the Korean fans, that they stick with Tottenham, because I started being a Tottenham fan back then when my favorite player joined our club. No, Edgar Davids. Edgar Davids from Holland. That was my favorite player back then. I was a big fan of the Dutch team, the Elftal. And he was there for 2 years, for 2 seasons.
Yeah. Loved that.
He went, and I never stopped rooting for Tottenham. And these Korean fans, they've been rooting now for Tottenham for 10 years. I think there's a good chance that we still see the girls in the Tottenham Stadium. And I think that was
it's half the reason I go. It's half the reason I go.
Yeah. I can imagine, yeah. And I think that it was clever to get Young, because if it's really true that he has a lot of talent. I only saw these couple of minutes against Newcastle, and I thought to myself, well, he is quite someone.
Yeah. But I think he needs to put on a little bit of weight. I think he needs to get used to English
definitely.
Football.
But then again, this is something I do not understand. Look at Luka Modric and look at Bryan Gil. Bryan Gil, everybody says he is not ready for English football. Look at him. But then look at Modric. They look the same.
Yeah.
Physically. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think physicality is sometimes just a word that's used to maybe just sort of describe, something else, which is more around just, can you cope? Can you cope with the physicality? And Modric found a way to, change his body weight, shift his his body into positions where he could bounce off players, and he didn't have that sort of need to always go down every time he was touched. Whereas, Bryan Gil's just a different sort of player that, looks for. Is there a fly in the room or something?
No, it's a fucking hornet.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've one eye here. It's like the first time in my life I'm online, the first time I'm on your channel, and there's a fucking hornet attacking me. So I have to chase it away.
They sound horrendous. They sound
with
painful.
a cap of your team in Italy.
Roma, my club. Yeah, nice.
Go to the Stadio Olimpico once. You will not regret it. The mood there is amazing. If 50,000 people sing Roma, Roma, Roma from Antonello Venditti, this gives you goosebumps. I swear to God, this is amazing. Nice. The singing culture in Italy is so different to England.
They
take it so serious. So
I used to. There was a guy who used to live in my house who was like a roommate who was his name was Mihail, or his name is Mihail, and he was from Bulgaria. But he was a massive football fan, a huge football fan. He was so passionate about his local team called Botev Plovdiv, a Bulgarian team. And then one day they played against Roma in a friendly, I think, or in a European game or something. And he went out there to watch it. And when he brought it back, he had like hours and hours of videos, and just seeing him and his crazy fans with the flares and their fans with the flares. It looked like it was a real experience.
It's amazing. I mean, I had tears in my eyes when I saw the parade, after the night in Bilbao. But if you saw the same pictures from the parade in Rome, I mean, they destroyed the city. Or just when they introduced Dybala, there were 30,000 people.
Here we go.
Yeah.
On my shirt right there. There he is.
Yeah,
there he
perfetto.
My number 21.
So they had 30,000 people on the streets just for 20 minutes. He is coming, and they were singing Roma, Roma, Roma for him. I mean, they take it really seriously. So this is a recommendation because I'm a football fan. Also my number one team is Tottenham.
Good man.
Because I think it's because but just think, they have 2 newspapers. They only cover AS Roma. I don't speak Italian. I would go crazy. I have no life. But you're Tottenham 5, the Tottenham Carnage.
The Spurs 5.
The Spurs Carnage, how I'd like to call it. It's like 3-4 hours. I mean, sorry, this is like, it's a little long.
Crazy. It is long. Well, that was one episode. We're trying to make it 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. So, and there's one last thing I want to say, because this was bothering me for a long time, because like no matter what channel I enter, they all say they couldn't stand the defensive play and type of play under Antonio Conte. And this is so weird, because if you follow the Italian league a little bit, he is not a defensive coach like at all. If you look at the team that won the Scudetto with Inter, just before he came to Tottenham, on the right side, Achraf Hakimi, and on the left side, Perisic, and actually also Jan. They were wingbacks, but they were always on top. Attack. It was a spectacle. Of course, he had Bastoni and Skriniar and De Vrij at the back, which of course have a different quality. So he likes to keep a tight back. But with these 3 defenders, and of course Nicolo Barella, he could afford to play attacking style. And I found it. I thought it was a little unfair, because I'm pretty sure that's how he wanted to play.
Yeah, we didn't have the players, did we?
Yeah, but he didn't get the players, and this is
he had to work with Clement Longley. And,
I mean, he wanted the Bastoni, and he got Longley. I mean, it's like, sorry. Then of course he has to try to keep the back stronger in a way. But so it didn't work out. I mean, I kind of miss it. I miss his press conference. I really loved it. It was really crazy.
I miss his press conference. He was a very volatile guy. I just didn't like the way that he always wanted to. He's not the only manager that does it. I feel like it's par for the course that people with egos the size of the moon, I feel like whenever they have the chance to explain why it's not their fault, they'll take it. And people like to blame the invisible man, the boogeyman who isn't accessible and that doesn't come out. It's like in England, the royal family, they have a phrase, never explain, never complain. Right. And it's very easy to sort of throw mud in there. Not that I'm a fan of the royal family at all, but just the idea that if you know that you're never going to get someone pushing back and saying, hey, hang on a minute, then it's very easy to point fingers at the people that are never going to answer back,
I get it. I mean, he does the same in Italy. I mean, that's why, he won the Scudetto with Inter and left because he was not happy. Now he won the Scudetto with Napoli and left because he was not happy. I mean, obviously you cannot make him happy, but we didn't make him happy at all.
No, we didn't. Alex, absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute. In fact, just quickly before I let you go, what's your score prediction for the Bayern Munich game on Thursday? Tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. I have to admit, I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Just so quickly, so you live in Austria, but you're very close to the border, are you? So you
I live in Vienna, but my hometown is in the south of Austria. So I took a week holiday just to be near Udine to go there. So it's like,
so are you at home right now, or are you in your holiday place?
Well, we have an apartment down there. It's my family apartment, so I'm at home.
Very good.
Yeah.
So 2-2 tomorrow.
I will contact you before end of November when we go for the Fulham game.
Yeah, I'll come and buy you a beer, mate. Thank you so much for the offer, mate. Very, very nice. Really generous guy. Everyone in the chat, please say big up to Alex. Alex, I'll see you again very soon. Thanks, mate.
I'll be back if you do this, because the next time you do this pony show, or how you call them, I will phone-in show. I will do it. Now that I know how I did it, it's my third computer, but the first two it didn't work. But now with the tablet it worked. So I know how to do it. Okay, bye bye.
Appreciate it, mate. See you soon, buddy.
Guys.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Oh, what a fantastic introduction to Alex, eh? What an absolute fantastic introduction. We got the last man of the show. James, waiting patiently. You're on mute, my man. How are you, buddy?
I'm very well. How are you?
You're looking chilled, buddy. You in the back of your plumbing van or something? What are you doing?
No, I just got home from football. I'm chilling on the sofa.
How was football? Did you win?
Yeah. It's only like a 7-a-side sort of fitness thing, really. Trying to lose a bit of weight. So just a group of friends sort of all book a court for an hour and just play.
You score?
Oh, always. Yeah, it's always about 15-0. That's why.
No one. Everyone's in goal with shit, are they? Is that what it is?
What's the goal?
Hey, mate, what are you thinking, mate? Listen, last man on. Cheer me up, buddy. Actually, I think everyone tonight has been relatively more upbeat than I've seen around other channels and stuff today. You know, everyone seems a little bit kind of fucking bored of this window, a little bit pissed off. Tell me, mate, are you in my mindset? Like, it's not over until the fat lady sings. Let's wait until Marinakis pulls out the microphone on the September the 1st, shall we? Like, or are you like, no, come on now, need a fucking signing, bro?
Yeah, number 2. To be honest, I'd like to say I'm on the side of both, but what I'm annoyed at is we're going into the cup final Thursday, and we've signed 2 players when really Maddison's out injured. I mean, I just feel like we're hanging Frank out to dry again, if I'm being honest. And this was my whole Levy out thing started under Pochettino. When we got to the Champions League final, we lost, and then I felt we kind of died off of a cliff. And I said to you, last year under Ange, Levy done everything I asked him for. Maddison, Van der Ven, Vicario, everybody coming nice and early, and I was like, right, you've given Ange a fair crack here. Whereas the Prem starts next weekend, and yet we've got no attacking midfielder. I know you like Tel, but I'm sorry, Tel isn't good enough at the moment. Where he's going to be, who knows? Odegaard, I think I've seen more in Odegaard than I have Tel, but he's still miles away, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the attacking midfielder thing is a new problem. Like, it's 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Old. So that's exactly.
You can't like be fuming at Daniel Levy for not having a 10 in place, because no one expected us to lose Maddison. Like that happens, you have to pivot, but you can't expect the pivot to happen in 24 hours, can you?
No, I agree. But the thing that I will blame him for is if we are being linked with the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, that falls through. It takes 2 weeks to fall through, and then you're giving it another week or so, and you still haven't decided no one. If Frank has asked for Morgan Gibbs-White to come in, he's clearly saying that, well, look, we need an attacking midfielder or a number 8 that can do both. Yeah. And yet 3-4 weeks later, we still have neither. And that for me is, I don't want to say
not having a plan B on that one. I think as soon as they thought that there was the clause, as soon as let's be honest, they probably knew about that clause quite a long time ago. Right, they were probably that wasn't something that they probably just found. What's that? Oh, it's triggers tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. Like, it wasn't like that. They probably knew about it from January or something, and they probably thought they've got inside feed on something that no one else knows about. Therefore, we'll do that at the first opportunity at exactly that price point or whatever they've done to screw it up. And then because they thought they were good with it, they probably didn't bother having a plan B, which is again stupid.
Yeah. And that's why I know, like, we were almost contradicting what I just said about you can't blame Levy for Maddison getting injured, but you probably can, because if Frank has asked for that midfielder, Levy's gone out and bidded for that midfielder that he's asked for, and then that's fell through, and we've gone, oh well. And then Maddison's got injured. It's almost like, if I was Frank, I'd tell you, I'd go in and go, I told you I didn't want him anyway. I wanted somebody else. So this isn't, nothing new. If Morgan Gibbs White come in, we wouldn't have probably rushed Maddison back, or vice versa, or we're trying to get him ready for the first game of the season. There's so many things for me that I just feel like every time there's a moment to go big, we never do. I mean, Man United lost the final, and they're on the brink of a whole new front three. It's just not acceptable.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I was having a sort of, it wasn't a blazing debate or row, but I did have a little chippy choppy with Sava this morning on Twitter about this, and a DM. Like 85 million euros to me is fucking insanity. It's insane.
What is that in pounds?
78 million pound.
So
it's insanity, mate. The guy scored 8 non-penalty goals last year.
But you say that. What did we pay for Solanke?
60, and he scored 19 non-penalty goals.
Only ever once, and he's a lot older.
No, but two wrongs don't make a right. I'm just saying,
I agree.
If everybody that's saying, look at Man United, look at that ambition, that's fine if you're going to say that, but then you have to hold the same energy for throwing money around, because I feel like sometimes people go, I genuinely think people attach the quality of the signing to the price paid. Like if Sesko only cost 60 million euros, I genuinely think people wouldn't be that bothered about it. But the fact that it's not everyone, the people that I'm talking about, 85 million euros, people therefore assume that he's a baller. But
I agree.
You don't attach that same logic to when it's Tottenham.
I agree. No, I completely agree.
For overpaying Solanke, you can't praise Man United for overpaying for Sesko, and they have fucking overpaid for him. And they did it exactly. They did exactly the same thing with Jadon Sancho. They did exactly the same thing. Did they learn a lesson from Sancho? Clearly not. They did it with Casemiro. Did they learn a lesson?
Anthony.
Clearly not. Did they do Anthony? 82 million quid for him. Did they learn a lesson? Clearly not. Marcus Rashford, they put the guy on 350 grand a week. Did they learn the lesson? Clearly not. Rasmus Højlund, 77 million euros, whatever it was for him. Did they learn the lesson? Clearly not, because they've just gone and paid 85 million euros for a fucking kid that looks good. He's got a cool name, a sexy name, but he's done fuck all. And he scored 8 non-penalty goals last year. If Tottenham Hotspur did it, I swear to God, the people that are saying, look at that, that's what we should be doing. If Tottenham did it, the second that he doesn't work out, they'd be saying, fuck, it was stupid waste of money. It's just it's opportunism, because the grass is greener.
Of course, but that's obviously always hindsight, because what if one of those hit? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all well and good going, if they did it and he flopped, then I agree. But what happens if Sesko comes in now and slaps in 25 goals a season?
Yeah, of course, 100%. And then I'll say fair enough. There's good value. But
when was the last
time Manchester United paid a lot of money for a player and it worked out well?
No, of course, and I completely understand that side of things. But I personally would rather go down that route. I mean, 40 million for Tel, 25 million for Odegaard, 60 million for Richalison, 60 million for Solanke. 55 million for Johnson. Like, how many more do we have to go miss? Like, I don't know. It's almost like we buy people that are like relegated teams, people going down, or it's almost like the fringe players of the bottom of the team. Or I don't know. For me personally, when have we ever gone out and gone, you know what? He's your best player. We're taking him. Like, yeah, we're buying that guy.
Kudos.
And that for me.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, kudos. Yeah, that's a fair shout. That is a fair shout. Kudos.
Is Polina a bad signing?
I wanted Polina. I wanted Polina for a long time. I wanted Polina for a long time.
And nobody has celebrated it. No one's given him the credit.
I have.
Okay, great. Most people don't. Most people didn't even get a chance to really celebrate Kudos when everybody would have taken. I remember everybody saying to me 2 years ago, why the fuck did we buy Brennan Johnson? We could have got Kudos. we got Kudus, and the problem is the next day we almost got Morgan Gibbs-White, and because of that, everyone was focused on, Tottenham are changing rather than just enjoying and embracing the signing. Then when Morgan Gibbs-White fell apart, maybe because we fucked up, maybe because their owner is just like a fucking like absolute lunatic, dictator, whatever. But the second that failed, then the usual Levy out crew just went, here we go. That's our opportunity. Forget the fact that we did Kudus. Forget the fact that we've done anything else. Forget everything's done yesterday. The trophy, that was yesterday. Like, fuck all that. I'm not giving any credit. Now it's just my chance to hammer home again. It's the same thing every time.
I do agree.
When you beg and plead and say, come on, be reasonable. Is that good news or not? Is that what you wanted or not? They go, yeah, okay. At best, you're going to get for once he's done something right. And then the next time anything happens, whether it's his fault or otherwise, that could be spun into a negative, the knives come out. And that's what pisses me off. That's why I get so rattled on shows. I'm usually quite a calm person, but when I hear this fucking illogical, irrational hypocrisy and contradiction, I get so wound up because I just can't stand the opportunism in people that want to always find the next stick. And there's like a blind mice looking for a squirrel. Occasionally they'll find one and they turn it into a weapon to go after the person that they long ago made their mind up is the the enemy of Tottenham Hotspur. And it's just not like that in reality.
So are you happy with where we are now? Going into that final and going into the Premier League next weekend, are you happy? No. Exactly. And that's my point. For me, I mean, I want Polinia for me.
I wouldn't have been happy if we signed Morgan Gibbs-White either.
No, for me, this is what I was just about to say. For me, Polinia was more important than Morgan Gibbs-White. I said,
100%.
I remember we were saying if you could have Morgan Gibbs-White or Douglas Luiz and Polinia, that's where I would have spent my money personally. But we've got to be realistic and look at the squad as a whole. Tel is not ready. Whether he's going to be ready or not, who knows? Udogie, I mean, we're going into the Champions League. The league starts in a week. And Frank is going to have to potentially play Tel, Udogie, and Richalison. Sarr in Cam. Berghvall in midfield.
Right,
it's just not. It's not good enough.
Hang on. Okay, but if there was no injuries right now, if Manor Solomon was fully fit, not I want him.
We'd be no better. You just made it worse.
Yeah, that's the worst possible way to start my point.
In the mud. Downgrading the squad.
Okay, if Solomon was fit, if Decky or Maddison were both fit, one of them, if Maddison was fit, right? If Udogie was fit, our squad is nowhere near as bad as it is. Do we still need a killer up front, a murderer? 100% we do. And that doesn't mean we're not going to get one. But, 70% of the transfer business is done in the last 2 weeks anyway. That's just go back and look. Most especially in January, 90% of the business is done in the last 3 days. So, and let's just take it away from Tottenham. This is the other thing that I always want people to do that no one ever seems to want to do with me, because on a thought experiment, I use this sort of argument when it comes to analysing Daniel Levy. No one wants to do it. And it seems to be if Tottenham aren't winning trophies, then the answer as to why that is has to fall within Tottenham, which it doesn't, because in order for you to win, everyone else has to lose. In order for you to lose, someone else has to win. Therefore, it's important to consider what's going on in things that you don't necessarily pay attention to, but that are relevant to the story. And I'll ask you the same. I'll take that same narrative here. Name me one football club in the Premier League, with the exception of Manchester City, that doesn't have more work to do in their transfer window.
Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal.
No. Chelsea need a centre-back and a goalkeeper. 100% they do. Chelsea have got a shockingly bad goalkeeper, and they've got fuck all in backup to their goalkeeper. And their centre-back, they got Fofana and who's the other guy? Colwill. Well, what are we doing here? That's not champion. That's not Premier League level centre-backs. Look at Liverpool. They're one injury away. If Virgil van Dijk gets injured, they have Kanate, who's got 1 year left on his contract, who's running down his contract to leave on a free, and they've got the other geezer who's a makeshift right back. They need a centre. They 100% need a centre back. They arguably need two centre backs. Newcastle, nowhere near. Aston Villa, nowhere near. The team that
you're saying
closer to being more fully developed than anyone else. But I
think you're saying nowhere near. But for me, they're levels above us. Levels above us.
They started levels above us as well.
Yeah, but then what? Why come out and talk shit for? Why come out? Oh, we want to win the league. We want to win the Champions League. What he should have said is, our aim is to finish 17th again and stay up, because that's how he's acting. Let's be honest. He's actually signed one player for the first 11 in Kudos. Polini is a loan, so we don't know what's going to happen there, as in long-term future. We've actually signed.
Sorry, James. Chelsea got the third. They're one injury away from having to play Badiashile or Dizazi. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? They might have conceded the third fewest goals, mate, but they don't have depth in the centre-back space. Come on now, Saba. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's madness.
For me, like what we're saying there about where we're saying that they're not finishing their transfer market. Their squad is already levels above ours. So not only have we got to catch them, we've now got to overtake them as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave, in my opinion, what's going to happen is we're going to leave Frank short and expect Frank to turn all this crap into wine, and it ain't going to happen. And then we're going to go, right, well, sack another manager. That didn't work.
You're presuming nothing else changes. Like, it's okay to sit there and reflect on the window thus far, but leave a little room to be wrong.
I am. I'm more than happy to, like we said, I'm more than happy.
Johan Lang doesn't talk about it. Doesn't let these. Would you rather be Tottenham right now or Newcastle fans? Because Tottenham fans don't hear about anything. We didn't hear about Kudus. We didn't hear about Gibbs White. We didn't hear about we were talking about Polina. We were. But in terms of the noise around Tottenham linked and discussions, bang, bang, bang. It was all done very quickly. Exactly the same with Odebear. Same with most of Johan Lang's signings, right? It was nothing. We're talking, it's done in the same day. And you compare that to Newcastle United, who apparently have had ambition. But ultimately, like I said earlier, it's delusions of grandeur. They've wasted their entire summer going after player with the absence of Anthony Elanga. They've gone on, and they've got that player Malik Tiao tonight, which he's actually very good. But apart from that,
have we not done the same with Morgan Gibbs White?
Been rejected by every one of them.
We've basically done the same thing with Morgan Gibbs White. Spent 3 weeks chasing a guy, then he signs a new contract.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
Yeah, but
so this is for me.
10 players like one after the other that Newcastle United fans were getting all excited about, talking about every day, and then every one of them. If Tottenham had done that, if Tottenham had talked about signing Isak, signing I don't know, the goalkeeper, signing Mark Gahey. If the stories were out there, Tottenham are in talks with Mark Gahey. It's close. Tottenham have agreed personal terms. The fee, and then suddenly that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I get that.
People that are complaining about the lack of ambition now would then be complaining about Tottenham Hotspur, and Daniel Levy would get it in the face again. Like, all I'm asking for is consistency. You can't we don't know how this window is going to end. If it ends the way it looks like right now, 100%, I'll be the first person to say it's a shit show, it's disgraceful, it's a fucking outrage, and I'll be at the protest or whatever else. But first of all, we don't know. The alternative to that system, mate, is to do what Newcastle are doing, which is airing their dirty laundry in public and get mud on their face every day.
But do you not think he's letting Frank down so far? Like, do you think that Levy, Lange, and all those guys have set Frank up for the season, ready to go? First game of the season, do you think, right, we're ready to go now?
No, but I think it would be a hell of a lot. It would look a lot better if Solanke was fully fit and Maddison hadn't broken down. We wouldn't be as worried.
See, this is where, for me, I think Maddison's a very good technical player, but I don't think he's going to fit into Frank's system. I said that from the start. I like Maddison a lot, but when you look at the lad that Brentford had playing Cam last season, Damsgaard, is it Damsgaard?
Yeah,
I think he was one of the highest runners in the Premier League last season. So for me, I didn't think that he would play him. I thought he would be looking to sell him. That was what I thought. Kulu, for me, I know a lot of people like Kulu. I think he's useless. I think he's a terrible football player. Yeah, I think he's terrible. I think
Really?
I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan. I think he slows the game down so much to the point of any kind of counter attack or attacking football. You can't play with Kulu. Don't get me wrong, he's very good at what he does. He's very strong, takes a touch onto his left foot. His left foot's really good, but everything is touch. Let me take another touch. Let me take another touch. Let me take another touch. Oh, that pass is gone. We'll lose the ball. And he done that 50 times last season. So for me,
him right now?
I'd sell both of them. Yeah. I'd sell both of them. So I'm not in that.
You're also frustrated with their ability to replace.
Yeah. Well, of course. But this is the whole thing I said about Son, wasn't it? I said I wanted Son gone for ages. Son's lineup or predecessor should be in now. He should have been right. Son, you're a legend. Unreal. Next guy, in we come. That's how big clubs do. I always compare it to the Mahrez and stuff. Mahrez goes, Doku comes in. Doku will go, Grealish will go, Mamouchi's already here. They're always ready. And it don't always have to be expensive players like Fofana. Is it Fofana from the French league?
Fofana from Lyon, yeah.
Why is he not here already? Why is he's not expensive? He'll definitely jump at the chance to come because he's been linked with Everton. It hasn't always got to be a massive, long-winded, 50, 60 million pound player. We've said before, I would love Adeyemi. I think Adeyemi is available for 40, 50 million pound. He could play left wing, good on the ball, good finishing, good passing, and could play up front. So they don't always have to be fancy, big signings. There's no excuses.
When we don't sign those players, and when we do sign players that are a little bit young, up and coming, and whatever, insert whatever adjective you want. Again, you get back to the Tottenham don't show any ambition thing. I genuinely think that Tottenham fans cannot be pleased. I think they're like women. Yeah. They are unpleasable creatures.
I think within reason. I obviously I will only speak for myself, and I'll only take you for what you're saying. For me personally, if you're showing signs of a year or two good football and you kind of take a punt, I'm happy with that. So for me, Fofana, I would be happy with. Sesko, I would be happy with. But when we're buying players like Dominic Solanke, who's had 6 years of crap, one good, it's like, hold on, let's weigh out that a little bit. There's been 6 years of crap before one good. I mean, Archie Gray, did he even have a good season? And yet we slapped 40 million down on him. So for me, there's so many loopholes and ways around things. And more importantly, I think Daniel Levy should fire all the scouts more than Daniel Levy take the blame himself, because whatever they're doing is nothing short of a disgrace.
What? But we don't know what's going on, mate. Like, I was having this conversation earlier. So it's the same point I'll make again. Like, we don't know. Like, do you think that Mohamed Kudus' deal to Tottenham started the day that we were linked to him? Or do you think it's more likely that Tottenham Hotspur and their scouts and the team had identified him as achievable months ago, had conversations, figured it out? Is there a likelihood? Is it viable? Speak to the agent, speak to the club, but all of that stuff is kept under the radar. And if you would agree that that's probably likely because a story doesn't start and finish in 2 hours, then how do we know that Tottenham haven't had 15 conversations in the last 3 days with 15 players that we're never going to hear about, because it just turned out that those conversations went nowhere because either the selling club wasn't interested, or they wanted far too much money, or the player and the agent said, no, we're going somewhere else, or we're happy where we are. But we'll never know about those because Johan Lang works the media differently to how Paratici and how Newcastle's team do. Like, I just think that we're making massive assumptions that everyone's just sitting on their hands, going, playing sort of, tiddly-poos or whatever. That's not even the name of a game, but you understand the point I'm making.
Tiddlywinks. Yeah, I get a point.
I say tiddly-poos.
Yeah, tiddly-poo, yeah. I get the point, but is it not fair to say I've seen this before? I'm going by what I've seen before. Barring last season, last season where I actually gave Levy credit and I said, you know what? And I come on and said to you, I said, look, I'm sitting on the fence now because Levy showed me under a manager. I'm going to back him and see how he gets. And that's all I've ever asked for Levy to do. Back your manager, see where he takes you. He backed and absolutely flopped, like monumental flopped. Greatest night of my life, or one of, when he won the European trophy, and I'll always be grateful. But 22 losses and 17 in the Premier League is an absolute disgrace. So for me, I come out of that season thinking, you know what, you've gave Maddison, you've gave, like we said earlier, all of these players. I can't be mad at Levy for that. That's all down to Ange. But then we get to that point where we win Europe. In we go again. Now we kick on. We're in the like we're in the Champions League, and our left wingers are Tel and who's Odegaard. That's a disgrace, and yet we're paying the top whack.
The last guy, Alex, he says he knows a thing or two about German football because he lives out that way. He says everybody thinks that Tel he was shoehorned onto the left when Sane got injured, and that he is in fact a 9. So
listen, I can only judge by what I saw, and that guy was 1-on-1 on the weekend and absolutely fluffed it.
All right, but if he put it away, would you change your mind?
I wouldn't change my mind, but I'd go, okay, that was a nice finish. And there's like, oh, okay, like, you know, oh, okay, prove me wrong. I mean, how many attempts did he have?
The other 7 things that he did in that game that were quite classy, though. Or do you just remember that one thing because you have?
Of course. No, of course, but
I thought he had a good game apart from that. That's the thing.
I thought he had an okay game. I don't think he had a good game. I don't think anybody really had. I thought we was a solid team. I think defensively we looked very good. I think as a structure we looked very good. I thought going forward we were shocking.
I don't think we were as good going forward as we were against Arsenal, but you know, Newcastle put out their strongest team and we didn't. Like I say, but I think that there's a lot of people, and I've given him the link, Sava. I think Sava's one of them. Love him to pieces, my boy. But I think he's got it in his head that Mathys Tel is a shit show, and it doesn't matter what happens now. There's just confirmation bias on the line, whereby if Mathys Tel does something good, but something bad, he'll only talk about the bad, and not just Sava, but lots of people. Stel does the same. Oh, everyone, even Lubo, who generally applauds every signing we make, is now even pivoted towards Tel being shit. And it's just he also thinks that our chairman's horrendous, but every signing we make he accepts and thinks that they're great signings. But apparently now he's gone on the offside against Mathys Tel. But I don't think Mathys Tel is anywhere near as bad as people make him out to be. I think it's insane. I think it's absolutely insane.
So what have you seen, that one pass against West Ham, that makes you think that he could be a good player?
He did 7 wonderful little bits of play, trickery, lovely little touches. He's got a better first touch than anybody else in our front line by a fucking mile. Better first touch by a mile than anyone in our front line.
Better than Kudus?
Yeah. So far from what I've seen Kudus.
I disagree with that.
I think that's. I'm not. This is a praise of Mathys Tel, not a criticism of Kudus. I think Kudus is a great player and he has a great first touch. But Mathys Tel has got a wonderful first touch.
I just think there's more to football than that. I think that the one thing that you need to be able to do is beat your man, and I think he struggled with that last season. Be able to finish. He had loads of chances to score goals, and he scored one proper goal. Like, it's not good enough. Like, this is what I'm saying is, I know people are like, oh, I mean, we had the debate about Donnelly. People are like, oh, give him time. We are going into the Champions League where we're not going to be able to lose these games. Otherwise, we're going out. And it is vital for us to go through the group stage to get the mega money. So for me, you can't. You just can't. Like, Tel versus Inter Milan, Odegaard versus... I don't know, the Barcelonas of the world. It is not good enough. And I'm not saying that I want players that are of that level, but we at least need people, Wissa or, you know, Jack Grealish's, or people that can come in and do a job at that level that have maybe been there, maybe can get to there. Not, I mean, maybe it's me being negative, but I don't think.
Don't let the chat affect you, mate. Don't let the chat affect you, bro. Like the chat.
I'm not reading it
for my take on Mathys Tel. I think.
I'm not reading it, mate.
He's a top player. Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck that. No. I don't bother with it. I'll say my own opinion. My own opinion is my opinion. Like I don't think, barring Kudos, I don't think that the other two are anywhere near Champions League quality. And then I think even the midfield, I think Sarr's.
When you say
I've actually.
Champions League quality, are you talking about teams like Bruges, or are you, all teams, or are you just talking about Liverpool, Real Madrid? Because if
I'm talking.
Then we're never going to be able to create a team that can compete.
No, of course. I'm talking sort of qualifying. I think Bruges are at the bottom, and I would say, the middle of the table qualifying through the group is what I don't believe.
You don't think Tottenham can compete with an Atalanta?
I don't think Dominic Solanke probably gets in Atalanta's team, to be honest. I don't think he's good enough.
You don't think Tottenham can can compete? You think we'll get buried? Let me get the team. Hang on, let me do this.
No, I think our back five is top 4 Premier League. I think it's top 4, top 5. It's everything else.
Where's the Champions League draw? Here we go. Is this the one with Tottenham in it? No.
My question is: if Kudos gets injured, we could have Solanke, Tel, and Brennan Johnson going into a Champions League match.
I might have it on the screen actually. Hang on 1 second. Is that it? What's that? No. Is that it? Yeah, here we go. All right. Walk me through this. Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so we are in pot 3. So we're going to get 2 teams. We're going to get 8 games, right? 2 from each pot. I'm not sure if the rules are we can or can't get English teams. I don't think we can. But
no, I don't think we can.
Realistically, if you're saying we haven't got a good enough, Solanke's not a good enough team for the Champions League, or Tottenham haven't got a good enough team for the Champions League, if you're talking about Real Madrid, City, Munich, Liverpool, PSG, Inter, Chelsea, Dortmund, Barcelona in pot 1, I'll agree with you, right? That we'll probably lose to whichever 2 of those teams we get. We might have a chance against Dortmund. We might be able to nick a point or something against an Inter or Bayern Munich, whatever, right? But generally speaking, we don't have a team that's good enough to be able to compete with pot 1. If you're telling me that in pot 2, we can't, if we draw Club Bruges, that our team isn't better than them, or the Eintracht Frankfurt, a team we've already beaten, that we can't beat them. If you're telling me that Juve's team is so much more superior to ours, I disagree. Villarreal, come on now, what are we doing? Atalanta?
I didn't say our team. I said 2 of the front 3. I said 2 of the front 3 are not good.
We're talking about trying to put a squad together to compete with. Everyone is making out like our squad is so fucking shit and we've got no chance, and they're using the benchmark of the Champions League. And I'll agree with you if we're comparing ourselves to pot 1. But my point would be that it doesn't matter what we do with the rest of the window. We are not going to have a team that can compete with PSG, Bayern Munich, City, or Real Madrid. Even if we had 300 million quid and every player we wanted would come to Tottenham, in all likelihood, we're still going to be too far away from competing with pot 1. Pot 4, name me a team in pot 4 that we can't beat.
Newcastle.
You don't think we can beat Newcastle?
I think Newcastle have got a better squad than us, yeah. Absolutely.
They've got a better midfield than us. I think they've got a better defence than us.
Better striking, better front 3 than us.
Well, maybe. We'll see what happens. Isak's been left out of training. They can't convince anybody to join them. So maybe that's up for debate. But we could beat them.
They've not signed Alanga? Was it Alanga?
Ferencváros, Monaco, Krevnia Zvezda, Copenhagen.
Yeah.
We can't
I think we're better. No, this is what I said. I didn't say we couldn't beat those. Like I said, I think we've got a very good back line. I think Polina is fantastic. Same with Kudos, fantastic. My biggest critic was Sarr last season. I dare say Frank might actually be getting a tune out of him. I've liked what I've seen so far in pre-season. He hasn't been as clumsy on the ball. So I'm interested to see what he does with Sarr. But again, I think Berghvall's a punt. Not a punt, but like a risk, because it's a completely different level, even though I liked what I saw last season. For me, it's the front 3. It's generally the front 3 or front 2 and a cam. That, for me, is the major problem. Because, like I said, if Kudos gets injured, you're saying we're going to beat these teams, but if they go for a flat back 5, who's breaking them down?
Oh, hang on. Look, I'm not saying that the window's done. My point is, and by the way, Danny's joined the chat. Hi, Danny. I know you can't see you, mate. Well, I'll bring you back.
That's right.
Put the thing down in
no worries.
By but I'm just making the point, right, that Tottenham Hotspur, the fan base, are in fucking meltdown like they always are because it's so fucking easy to predict the losing lottery numbers. It winds me up. It's so negative all the time. It drives me up the fucking wall. And then you look at those 4 pots. We're going to get 2 teams from each of those, and all I see is opportunity. I don't think there's even in pot 3, PSV Eindhoven. Can we beat PSV Eindhoven with our current team and our current squad? 100% we can.
Did you say that? You say that?
Or if we go and get a Vissa, or if we go and get a Calamuendo, or if we go and get any number of players in the next,
we can beat most of those teams on that list.
Beat most of those teams, mate.
Apart from the ones
didn't we get absolutely slapped? Didn't we get absolutely slapped by Galatasaray?
Yeah, we didn't play our first team. We didn't play our first team.
We had up front. Well, come on now.
I think Will Lancashire is better than Richalison.
Well, I don't disagree with you on that one.
That's 1-0 flower.
Ridiculous. I think it's madness. Let me get rid of this. How do I get rid of this fucking thing? Here we go. How you doing, Danny? You all right, mate?
I'm
big
good.
up,
How
mate.
you doing, boys?
Yeah, Danny's just hiding something. What are you doing there, Danny? What are you doing there, mate? Oh, fuck, the thing's got me. Put that. Oh, it's just water, isn't it?
Some water, yeah, just some water.
Bring me some fucking positivity, because like I'm just sitting there going, what's going on, Tottenham fans?
Do you know what, right?
We're fucking winning a lot, boys.
The thing is, right? No, do you know what, right? The thing is, I used to be a very pessimistic fan, right, in terms of the way Spurs run the club, the way that we do business. Now, I just look. Like the first thing I want to mention is the signings, right? Yes, we all know we haven't done enough business for what we need for the season, right? But let's be honest, when have we ever done our business the right way in the last 10 years, right? At least when have Spurs ever gone and got all the players they needed, right? Before the transfer window or right before the preseason starts? Never. It's never happened, right? Daniel Levy is not going to change his ways of doing business, right? So the reality is there is still, 26 days left of the window, right? 24 days, whatever it is, 25 days. So I don't doubt that we're going to sign players, right? Whether or not they'll be quality enough for what we need is another question. I think we'll get another 2 or 3 players in, 100%, right? The problem is obviously the fans, what they want, right? And I'm going to say this for not just fans, but also streamers as well, YouTubers. They want content. YouTubers want the content to talk about. Us fans want players to talk about, right? We also want the players to come in now so that we're more ready, which I understand. But the fact is, Tottenham have never done business like that, ever. So for me, I used to be one of these fans that used to be like, oh, we're fucking shit. What's the point of this? Like Daniel Levy this, Daniel Levy that. But what's the point? Like, genuinely, we all know how the club runs the business, right? How they run it. So why bother get stressed out over it? Just wait and see what happens, because I've said it from the beginning of this window. I'm going to judge it based on what happens on the 1st of September, and then I'll see who we've signed. And if we've signed 2 more players that walk into our first team that are on top of Paulinho and Kudus, then I'm going to say it's a good window. It's a really good window because we've got 4 first-team players in, right? If we go and sign a left winger, like, could you imagine, Sean, right? I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but could you imagine if Tottenham signed Rodrigo, right? All the fans will be.
No, I don't even rate him.
Fucking like jizzing on the fucking screen.
For 5 minutes they would, and then the next day it's like, what now? What's next? Who's next? Right? But I don't even want Rodrigo that much because I don't rate him. Like,
I don't rate him that much.
I don't rate him that much. Okay, I think he's a good player. I don't think I don't think Sesko's 85 million. I don't think he's 80 million or whatever. I think he's a good player, but I think he comes with that kind of Harrods Tupperware vibe because he comes from Real Madrid. People think of him as like some superstar.
Look, I wouldn't turn him down. I wouldn't turn him down. I think
of course not. I'd be happy, but I'd actually be happier because of the amount of comments that I've got saying, Sean, you're a clickbait CUNT every time I mention that there's stories out there that we might get him. And then the same people that tell me Ben Jacobs is full of shit, they tell me that Ben Jacobs said it's not happening, therefore it's not happening.
But look, let me get things straight. Ben Jacobs is full of shit. I don't know. Is full of shit.
Whatever. I like Ben. I like him. He fills me with things to talk about.
You have your opinion.
I'm not going to complain. I don't know whether he's full of shit or otherwise.
Did you see the thing that I sent you earlier about what he did on BBC?
Just quickly, the people that tell me every time I mention Rodrigo, the comment section is full of, oh, this fucking horse shit again. Butler, he ain't coming. Ben Jacobs said he's not coming. It's not coming. Meanwhile, you've got Marker, you've got AS, you've got all these other people that are saying that there was a big coming in. And then they're the same people that the next day, when I don't mention Rodrigo, they tell me that Ben Jacobs is full of shit. But they want me to listen to Ben Jacobs when he says Rodrigo's not coming, and they don't want me to listen to Rodrigo when he says that the Bissouma's interested in going to Besiktas. Sorry, Danny. Take your point.
No, I agree, man. Like, look, Rodrigo, right? I think he'd be a very good player if we got him. I don't think we're going to get him. I also think that, look, fans just need to like calm down for a minute and just like let the transfer window play out the way it's going to play out. Like, I know we're still getting rid of players. It looks like, right? If Bissouma goes, there's no way that that we're not going to sign players, right? The other thing I wanted to mention as well is with the Tel chat that everyone talks about. I mean, and I've said this quite a few times now, but everyone talks about Thomas Frank being the coach that we needed to coach the players that we have. How is anyone going to give Mathys Tel? They can't give him a chance when the kid is 19 years old. I know people are going to use this argument that if they're young, if they're good enough, they're young enough. It doesn't matter what their age is, right? But unfortunately, that doesn't work for everyone, right? That you're not going to get every single 19-year-old who's the next generational talent, right? It doesn't work like that. That's not how life works, right? Sometimes players have different paths, just like people have different paths in life, right? Let me give you an example. Harry Kane. Did anyone sit here and think Harry Kane was going to be our top record goal scorer when he was young, going on loan to Millwall and wherever he went on loan to, right? No one thought that, right? Did anyone think when we brought Son in, when he nearly left after the first season, that he was going to become our club captain and score nearly 200 goals for Tottenham? No one did. And that's because the coaches came in and coaches played to make them the players that they are today. And also because of their own determination and dedication to their game and their craft to become the players that they became, right? So why are we going to sit here and say just because Mathys Tel is not showing people what they think they want to see, like, which basically what people want to see is Yamin Lamau at Spurs. They basically want to look at every youngster and think that we've got the next. They want to think that we've got the next Yamin Lamau. It doesn't work like that. That is not reality. Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I mean, anything less than that, if someone else has it, then why can't we?
Yeah, it's shit. It's actually shit, right?
But do these people treat their own? It's like when I hear this narrative of like, unless it's a loser's mentality to accept mediocrity. You're a loser. I'm a winner because I don't accept these things. I'm like, it's the same shit. Your expectations of Tottenham. Do you hold the same expectations of yourself? Do you get pissed off with yourself for not driving a Ferrari when you see someone else driving one? Probably not. But because Tottenham is something that you're passionate about, but that you have no control over. Same with Arsenal fans.
It's that you know what I would be pissed off though, like what you said there. What you said there about do I get pissed off with seeing people drive a Ferrari, and then what I would be pissed off is if I went into a Ferrari garage and paid 45 million for a Ferrari and they give me a fucking full Fiesta. That's what I would be pissed off with.
But you don't pay 45 million quid for a Ferrari, do you?
No, but I'm just saying 45 million is a very good price, and we come out with a potential signing.
Tottenham Hotspur, do you pay to go
because
to the
Tel and Archie Gray are coming in at big money, and they're both maybes, both potentials.
Yeah, but it's like buying a limited edition Monopoly set that you were told that might end up being worth 100 grand in the future. You know, you put it in a
good idea. Yeah, good idea. I'll buy one.
Potential. You know?
It's the same. It's the same example for Son, right? When we signed Son for the price that we signed him for, did anyone think that he was going to turn into that winger that he turned into? Nearly 10 seasons in a row, nearly 20 GA each season. It's like ridiculous numbers, right? No one expected that. So, and just look at what Frank. People, do you know what? It really fucking infuriates me. Yeah, when people talk about bloody Thomas Frank, right? And that he's such a good coach and what he did at Brentford, and they bang on about what he did at Brentford. Then if they're gonna use that fucking argument, sorry for the swear, I won't swear again, Sean.
No, that's all right. We're 3 hours in, mate. You can swear as much as you want now. Just don't use the C-bomb.
No, I won't. But if we want to use the same kind of argument that we used that Frank did so well at Brentford, then why are we not going to use the same argument that he's got to get time to coach the players that we currently have? He turned Mbeumo into Mbeumo. He turned Vissa into
Did
Vissa.
he though?
Right?
Did he?
Yeah, but look where he came from. They were in wasn't it League One when Mbeumo was playing for Brentford? Look at what he did with Ivan Toney.
But listen, but this is the thing, right? So, in fact, let me press pause. I'll come back to it. I've completely overlooked the super chats. I didn't even see them, to be honest. I was so caught up in the fan show. I apologise. Ulrika, big up to you. This was an hour ago, love. I'm so sorry, mate. I hope your G&T has been refilled. You're still in the bath and you're doing the things that keep you happy, if you know what I mean, Ulrika. And appreciate you very much for the super sticker. Choo choo. A user has said, question, 7 days to go. What chance have we got? Thoughts? Super quick, guys. At this stage, have we got any chance against PSG?
Oh, 7 days to go. And that game is not even... If I'm honest...
There's one chance, boys. The last time I was on holiday, we won the cup final, and I'm on holiday again, boys.
Come
on. So I'm telling you.
And also Nick's not going to the game, so he always jinxes it when he goes to watch Spurs. So that's another good thing.
It's guaranteed. We've won it, boys.
Yeah. So do you know what? Right, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. The thing is, look at what Chelsea did. Look, I'll put a bet on Tottenham. I mean, look.
Mate, I've got Richalison on my new shirt. I'm having it.
Oh my, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Do you know what, James? Right, I'm telling you.
If it happens, mate, I'll keep him.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a smash and grab. It's going to be like defense all game, a set piece, Richalison from a corner or a free kick. He's going to head it in. He's going to do the pigeon and he's going to lift the cup like it's the best thing he's ever done in his life. Like you can just see it in it, and then he's signing a new contract or something after that. Like,
as much as I don't rate the player, I think he's absolutely toilet. I only double down on it so hard because I like winding people up that are so passionately like disproportionate with their affection for him. Like if you're part of my WhatsApp group, you'll know I love Adam William Cahill to pieces, but that man is absolutely insane with his love for Richarlison. And so I just part of my reason for going so hard on Richie is really just to annoy people that I know personally that have a disproportionate affiliation. I hope Richie does well, but I also hope that Mathys Tel absolutely slams it out of the park so I can come after everybody.
Do you know what? I've been saying the same as you, Sean, like with Tel. I actually think he's going to be the most improved player under Frank. And whether or not that's this year or next year, under his tenure, I think he's going to be one of the most improved players that he's going to coach.
Yeah, but the people that hate him will always hate him.
I know, but the thing is, Sean, they won't hate him if he has like a 15-20 GA season.
No, mate. There's people out there, and there's about 70%. In fact, let's do a quick ones and zeros game. Ones and zeros. Is Mathys Tel good enough for Tottenham Hotspur? 1 yes, 0 no. And I'm going to take a screenshot so that when he bangs in 20 GA this season, I'm coming for all of you because most of you will twist your wind. You'll turn in the wind like a weather vane. 1, he's good enough. 0, he isn't. Look at all the ones that are coming in.
See, for me, he's not now. But for me, he's not now because he's shown us nothing at the minute. But there is potential there. Like I said all along, there's potential. But he's not my starting left winger. I want somebody better.
Yeah, we all
and
know
what you said, what you said there about Mbeumo and Wissa, they're Brentford. We're Tottenham going into the Champions League. We can't really afford to go. Yeah, take your time, mate. You bed yourself in. Like
we understand that, right? But if the reality is that that's what he's going to get to work with, then we've just got to wait and see what happens between now and January because that's that's what's going to happen, right? We've got no choice. Look, the way I see Tel is I'm with Sean. Like the back end of last season, you could see he was slowly improving. Like he was getting more confidence, and I think he's a confidence-based player. And when you've got someone coaching him the right way, I think he's gonna surprise people. I really do think so. I really do.
Slowly improving. Fucking how slow is he going?
But you could see the improvement. He's got ability. The kid's got ability, man. He can cross a ball as well.
I will give him praise where I see praise and where I see praise. And there's one thing that I think you'll see him more when you see him live is his movement off the ball is fantastic.
Yep.
It really is fantastic.
His crossing is good as well. People keep forgetting he actually a good crosser of the ball on his left foot as well.
His work rate's phenomenal. Listen, that boy, that guy,
and he wants it. He wants to be better.
I've got a video for this, right?
Dad, listen, that child is going to be a pro athlete.
Hey, that's a fucking brilliant video. He's going to be awesome, and I'm going to come for everyone. If he, I'm attached to Mathys Tel at the hip because, like, I get so much stick for that particular take, and it's so easy to sit there and say he's going to be shit. It's very difficult to sit there and say he's going to be a legend, and when he becomes one, I'm coming for you all. Let me quickly get some other super chats done. George Z2X9I. It's incredibly specific. It's a Wi-Fi password. It's become a new member of the channel. Thank you very much, mate. You didn't make it on tonight's membership show, but I will hope to meet you. I enjoyed tonight. I thought it was really good. I'm going to do it next week as well. Very cool. Thank you very much for the membership, my man. Cowboy Spurs, good up to you. Big up to you. Yeehaw. Says, why couldn't we leave Richie in Seoul like Newcastle? Yeah, that Matt Target thing. That guy played one game last year and gets paid one game, 0 goals, gets paid $100,000 a week. That's why they left him there. Thank you very much for the super chat. We got Russell Coit, who has left thank you very much, mate. Super sticker. Choo choo to you. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. Football Heritage Sava, awful channel. Well, fair enough. It's not for everyone, mate. Positivity isn't for everybody. Thank you, Sava. I appreciate you, mate. Love you, man. I'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you, buddy. And Henry Thong says we forgot we play Bayern tomorrow.
Yeah, I actually forgot that as well.
I didn't forget. No, that was just the super chat said we got 7 days. I think he was just talking about 7 days until
PSG.
Till the Shield, till the PSG game.
Have
thank you very much.
They had a couple weeks out then as well. They've had a couple weeks out, haven't they?
3. I think they have to have a minimum of 3 weeks. So I think it's 3 weeks.
Choppy Cheese is saying, Sean, we need bombers or we make Levy gas mask fart. Mate, as much as I love you sending in your super chats, you are obsessed with. I used to live with a guy, and I lived in Clapham. I used to live with a guy. I forget his name now. He was obsessed. He had like a fetish for poo. He would take pictures. Pictures of his toilet time, and then like giggle to himself in the toilet, and then come out and show me. I'm like, what are you doing? It was so weird. I'm not saying that's your thing, Choppy Cheese. I do appreciate your super chats, but they are incredibly leaning towards constant gaseous outcomes. Love you, mate. Thank you very much. And we got another new member of the show as well, Richard Devans. Richard Evans even. Richard Evans. He's a proper fan. He's a proper absolute fucking belter. He must be a Welsh man. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. Where were we, guys? So the 1s and 0s game, everybody suddenly backtracked, didn't they? I was expecting everyone to say 0, but actually there's 1s galore. There's 1s everywhere. Everyone's saying Mathys Tel can make it. And I love it. I love it. Oh, Danny, are you gonna be okay though if Mathys Tel is one of the starting forwards in the summer in the season?
Not really. I'm with James where he should be the secondary option, and you can switch between him and Odebear, right, to give them different game time. But you need a higher quality winger for sure. But if we don't sign one, which is very likely, I think if we're going to sign someone, I think it's probably going to be like a versatile player, like someone who can play as a number 10 predominantly, but then someone who can maybe drift on the left or play on the right as a cover sort of thing, which is not great, especially going into a Champions League campaign. But look, what can we do, right? We can't control what Daniel Levy does and the club do in terms of their transfer business.
So you're so serene these days, Danny. Your transformation has made you so placid and like just accepting of things you can't control. There's something called the Serenity Prayer, mate. I think you should print it out. Lord, grant me the wisdom to accept the thing. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the strength to change the things I can, and the wisdom.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, mate? It's why stress out over. It's true. Why stress out something we can't control, right? Like I've always been with Sava on the fact that I don't think, as much as I support the protests and I'm always part of them, I don't think they're enough to make change at this club. And yeah, Daniel Levy might say that, oh, it does affect us. It's bollocks, right? It doesn't. What affects them is if you get 20,000 fans walking out that stadium every game, that's going to affect them, and that's going to affect sponsorships. Right?
Yeah, I do think it affects it. I do think it affects it.
Not getting a chance to watch the game, and no one means it that much, mate. Everyone's just—it's all fake outrage. It's all fake outrage for a fucking just to moan about something. That's all it is.
I personally think that it does affect things because I think the whole reason there was a huge backroom staff change up, Ange was to go. If there was no protesting, I don't think Ange would have gone personally. I think he would have stayed. I think it does add that extra pressure. Whether it's going to get Levy out, I don't believe that, but I do believe it puts pressure on him to start acting. And that is sort of where I'm at with it. And I'm just almost going full circle. I'm not annoyed the fact that there's not everybody's in now. I'm annoyed with the fact that there's an opportunity to beat PSG and we've dropped the ball. That's what I'm annoyed with, because if we beat PSG, and we still might, and 2-3 days before the big PSG game, I'm going to be saying 5-0 Spurs. But until that point, like, I would have loved us to got a couple more players in, a left winger, whoever else, and then actually been like, you know what, we're going to have a go here. And if we started off the season with winning that cup, I think naturally we go on and win our first 5-6 games, whether it continues like that or not. I think everybody will be on such a high and it'll be such a positive that we kind of move forward. But again, it's exactly the same thing. The only time I've ever seen us move early was under Ange, and that's what I'm more disappointed with. I'm not saying they're not going to come in, because for all I know, look, Eze's bouncing around. I don't think we'll get him, but you never know. It's more of the point of, I wanted to go into this cup final showing that we want to win it.
I keep hearing, maybe the alcohol's talking now, but I shouldn't be saying this, but I keep hearing from people, not the same two people that did me dirty, not those people. I keep hearing
in the chat. Don't say it.
I'm not saying it, but I keep hearing that things are happening in that regard. There was conversations at a training ground meet the other day that was overheard that were all focusing on that particular guy, and all the big players were at the training ground lunch. Levy, Vinay, all that stuff. They were all there, and there was a strong conversation about a certain Palace man.
But that for me would be.
That hits two birds with one stone right now. Like, it gives
absolutely.
You the number 10 option, right? Who I think we absolutely need, but also he can play as when Maddison is fit. You can play Eze on the left, and then you've got a front four of Eze, Maddison, Kudus, and Solanke. For now, that's a pretty good front four. Of course, we need a better striker, but we can't get everything, because that's not.
What's happening in Leicester Square, Danny?
The thing is, as well, though, when it comes to,
is he talking about the night where Sava went a bit crazy? Is that the night he's talking about? I think I know what he's talking about. Oh, that was the funniest night. Oh my god.
The thing is, what we're saying there, like, we're saying, is Tel good enough? What I would say is Tel good enough playing left wing with Pape Sarr in the cam? Because you're now eliminating probably half of his runs forward. You know, it's a completely difficult. I mean, I don't think we're going to get Eze. I would love to, but I don't think it. But if you have Eze in the cam role and then Tel out wide, at least you know every time Tel makes that through ball or that run, you've got somebody that's going to be able to find him if he wants to.
I bet.
So for me, it's not always just the winger that's not good enough. It's about sometimes certain wingers need certain supply. I mean, I used to love Aaron Lennon, but if we couldn't play him a through ball, it was almost like redundant. It was all pace. Let me get him beyond my man and deliver the ball. So if we didn't have people capable of playing that passes, it's a lot easier to keep him quiet than not. And I think it's the same with Tel. If we haven't got that attacking midfield or that magician in midfield, if you like, I think he struggles.
Would you
with Solanke.
would you rather have Eze, right? If you have 70 million quid to spend tonight, do you go and drop it? Do you drop 70 on Eze, or do you go and do Mikel Tadzi for 45 and 25 or 30? I'll give you the space. If you had 80 million quid, 80 million quid, Eze and a Grealish on loan, or Mikel Tadzi and a Ademola Lookman.
Oh, it's easy for me. It's Eze and Grealish all day long.
Yeah, I'd probably
Eze and Grealish over Lookman and Mikel Tadzi. And you're moaning about Richarlison and Solanke.
All day long. I think
you're still stuck with the two people that you don't rate.
Sean, what's Lookman's?
Yeah, but either way, I'm stuck either way, aren't I? At least that way you've got. Sorry.
So I was going to say, what's Lookman's actual stats? Because doesn't he play like
as a 24 goals in all comps last season as a left winger?
Yes, that's a lot. That is a lot.
But he didn't do too well in the Prem, did he?
How old is Ademola Lookman?
He was younger.
But you're asking me if I want two Prem proven, very good players,
he's 27.
Or a couple of punts.
That's a good age.
Lookman's not a punt though, is he? He has played in the Prem. He has done it in the. He
played rubbish in the Prem.
Bolton and Leicester. He went to Atalanta. He scored a hat-trick in the Europa League final. So he's a big game player. He scored 15 goals in Serie A last year from the left wing spot and 25 goals overall in all comps. He's an absolute monster. And then you get Mikel Tadzi, who can dribble. He could dribble more than a baby. He's insane.
I'm not saying that they're crap. I'm not saying they're crap. But you could.
Mikel Tadzi's a striker, but he can play. He can drop deep and play everywhere.
So then
you was just saying about Tel,
Tadzi and Lookman, because I think Lookman is a good player, right? But I don't know. It's hard, man, because Eze.
For me, it's easy. Yeah, for me, Eze is an absolute baller.
So is Grealish. I think Grealish
is so underrated. It's criminal.
Do you know the only thing?
He's got fuck all output though. He's not an output guy.
No, I know, but if you've got Tel up front, that absolute goat.
No, wait a minute. Hang on. We've lost 67 GA in Maddison, Decky, and Sonny going down. We need to replace it. And you're saying bring in Jack Grealish, who's got one goal or something in 2.5 years.
Yeah, but I think systems and stuff are different because
systems and stuff, mate.
Yeah, I do because
keeping him out of the team. What are we doing?
No, I genuinely believe that. I think Eze is better than everybody you name there, in my opinion, and I think Grealish would win us so many free kicks far up. And not just that, backs to the wall games where you're playing Arsenal and you're 1-0 up in the 88th minute. You give it to Grealish, he's going to hold up the ball, draw the foul, and then we're set again. And we all know Frank's good at sort of set pieces and bits and pieces like that. So for me, there's certain time and place for everybody. And if you was to have somebody like Grealish, Eze and Kudos and then Richarlison up front, I think you'll replace those goals.
All right, let me ask this. How about all three of them? Right? How about all three of them or two of them? Take your pick. So Lookman, Eze, Mikel Tadzi, which will probably cost you 160 million quid. Okay? A lot of money, but that's it. That's your lot. You're done. And then you run the risk.
Say that again. Say that again.
Mikel Tadzi for the 9, right? Versatile 9, but drifting is perfect. He's a lovely little trickster.
I've seen
Mikel Tadzi, Lookman on the left, Eze in the 10. Right, so that's 160 million quid, give or take.
I'd do that every day, all day.
Okay, so you get 3 of them, or you get 2 of them, and you get a centre back / a left back, full back.
If we got those front 3, I'd go on a wank marathon and you wouldn't see me for 3 days.
I do it on screen. You know what? The hackers already probably caught me doing it for the last 5 years. So
OnlyFans it. Let's create up the Spurs free OnlyFans.
Spurs free OnlyFans.
Absolutely, mate. If those 3 come in, I'll buy a Levy In shirt. That is how much I would want that.
Do you know what? Do you know what? If those 3 come in, I'd buy a Levy In shirt.
Just quickly, I asked the poll. I asked the poll. will Tel be a success at Spurs? What do you reckon the results are?
I think more
60-40. Yeah.
In which favor? In which way?
Tel,
Yeah.
yeah.
You see? So my man who said he was going to bed, he said he was going to bed half an hour ago. He's still there. He's still knocking around. See, mate, like the world doesn't feel the way you do, Saba, about Mathys Tel. 60-40. People think that Tel's going to be a success, a monster. He's going to be a monster because they know which side of the coin they want to be on. Come on, Mathys Tel. That's what I'm talking about. Well done, chat. Well done, the chat. What are we saying there, boys? So you're saying you'd rather have the 3 and then we'll just roll the dice at the back? Yeah?
1,000,000%. %. We need reinforcements up front, and those 3 players would completely. Could you imagine that? Miguel Tadzi, Kudus, and then you've got Eze, and then you've got who's the other player? Lookman. That's a ridiculous front line.
That's a joke. I think as well when you
power, experience, youth as well. You've got
creativity.
Everything in that. Yeah, you've got everything.
Yeah. I think when you have a solid unit, it's a lot easier to bring a youth player in. So say, for example, you had your back 5, including Vicario, week in, week out, and you got an injury to Romero. I think it's a lot easier to bring in a young centre-back when you've got everyone already on the same page, whereas goals are the hardest thing to do in football.
I wonder if Tottenham have any release clauses in the loans out, like players like Vuskovic and stuff like that. So if, say, we got a massive injury, you can recall a player on loan, or Phillips or someone like that. Because that's what I would do if I was Spurs.
But do we need that though? Do we need that? Because if we've got Danso and Dragoshin coming back in, say 3 or 4 months, you've got 2 very, very good backups, and worst case scenario, Ben Davies. So you've got 3.
But
let's face it, Ben Davies has actually done okay every time he's come in.
Yeah, but you can't run him into the ground if, say, you've got Romero and Van der Ven both injured like last year. If you've got them both injured, then you've got 3 centre backs for every single competition, and it's going to take.
Yeah, but how many people have 5 centre backs that are decent to come in?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they'd have a young centre back as well, probably in their team. So that's
how many people have 6 centre backs though? That's what I'm saying. How many teams actually have 6 centre backs?
Liverpool haven't even got 3.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's hard to say.
Are Liverpool fans panicking, or are Liverpool fans reassured that they'll probably be okay, but they'll probably get someone that will come in the next couple of days or weeks? You know?
Can I swap?
Just fucking
they're probably.
Yeah, I see your deal, and I want to make a transfer out of it if that's all right. I would swap Lookman for for Robinson from Fulham. Then I would be happy.
A fullback than a left winger. So you're saying Mathys Tel's ready? You're saying Mathys Tel is ready?
Absolutely. Get Odegaard in. Odegaard in. I think. I mean, I would put Robinson right up there, man. I think he's an absolute baller when it comes to football. He's ridiculous. And he's good at defending.
Kenny Tete, by the way, as well. So I think Kenny Tete is a baller. But he ended up signing a new contract.
Who's Kenny Tete? I don't know who that is.
He's the right back at Fulham.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But I know Robinson's a very good player. We don't even need a right back. We've got Porro and Spence. I think we've got our right back situation sorted. But Spence, I personally think Spence is a better player at left back than I think he is at right back.
So do I. You said earlier that you think that Tel will be the most improved player. I think it will be Spence and potentially Pape Matar Sarr.
Oh, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. So if we ask the chat, then who do they think the most improved player under Frank will be out of those 3? Who do you think they'd say?
Good question. Chat, who is the most improved player over the 25-26 season under
Thomas Frank?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that.
Sarr's got a good shot, but Spence Sarr looks the most different in pre-season. But again, we can't judge it until we get into the competitive games. But
I think it'll be Mathys Tel.
I still think Mathys Tel personally, but Sarr he looks like that player could shock everyone.
Is there a way back for Brian Hill or no?
No.
Brian Hill.
He's still at the fucking club. Do you know? I think
Frank needs time to see him. Frank needs time to have a look at him.
He's the longest serving player at Tottenham Hotspur after Ben Davies.
My goat.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, Sean, some people put it in the chat, right? There's a couple others you could chuck in there. Odebert and maybe Gray as the other youngsters. Or Berghvall even.
I was about to say what Sava said. Could it be Romero? Because I rate Romero, but last year he was bang average. If I've seen game, I mean the final where you look at me and go,
he's
yeah,
going to be the captain, isn't he? He's going to be the captain.
That's what I'm saying. If Frank can get what we had in the final out of Romero week in, week out, you'd go a long way to find a better centre back.
You know why Daniel Levy needs to sign a monster? He needs to sign a monster that like is a top world, like a top tier or a bottom top tier or a top second tier player, whether it's like a Rodrigo or a Lookman, but someone that comes in and can command 250 grand a week. He needs to do it now because he's going to have to break that wage structure at some point. And the second that he does it, normally you'd have 3 or 4 people that would be banging on the door to the chairman's office saying, if he's getting paid that, I should be too. There's nobody at the club now that's going to have that ability to command that sort of outcome apart from Romero. And Romero is the one guy that he wants to sign a new contract, but is currently refusing to do so. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go, yeah, sure, you can have that money. You just got to sign
but the thing is, also, we got to look at Romero as well, that if he's given the responsibility of captain, it may make him, if we have a good season or we win another trophy, it may make him change his mind if he sees the progress. Like it's all possible, but I think giving him the captaincy, which I think he will be the captain, I do think it's going to give him that more responsibility. And I think what you saw in that Europa League final, if people actually saw what Romero was doing in that final as well, especially if you didn't see on camera what he was doing, the people in the stadium could see. He was demanding even Ange to bring on players and take them off. Like he was commanding everything that game. And if he's got that in him, I think people will listen to him because when he ups his level, on his day, he's world class. He can be world class.
You know what else I think is going to help him?
He's not world class.
You know what else I think is going to help him?
I'm not saying he's world class. I'm saying on his day he is world class.
No,
but he needs. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Danny.
But he's not a world class player. We
were having the world class debate. You have to, in order to be world class. We established this with the Sunny conversation. You have to be top 3 in your position in world football at any particular point in time. There are definitely
I don't agree
right sided centre backs that Romero.
For me, I think if he could keep that,
there's 6 better centre backs.
Yeah, but I think that's going on over longevity. If Romero played how he did in that final, week in, week out, you'll go a long way to find somebody better.
You can make the same argument for at least 8 or 10 players that if they play to their very best, then they are better.
But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Romero.
You also have to look at what Romero.
In order to consider the world class conversation, you have to consider other people.
You have to remember how crucial he was to winning a World Cup. That's not an easy feat. You have to remember.
Also,
Romero's never lost the final. He's never lost the final. No, but he's never lost the final. That's a stat.
Yes, he has. He's lost one.
What final?
Oh, I have to fucking look it up. He's
won. You know what else I think we're forgetting as well is he's got half the responsibility this season because we've just signed an absolute fucking monster in the number 6.
Yeah, that's
an absolute monster. So he ain't gonna have to do half of the stuff he did last season.
Someone said he lost the final with Atalanta. Is that true? Did he actually lose?
He only lost one of them. It's Coppa Italia final against Juve.
Oh, so it was Atalanta.
That don't count.
yeah, it doesn't fit the narrative. Yeah, it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
No, he has then. He has.
Listen, I'm just saying that Christian Romero, if you're saying that the only reason he's a world class is when he's at his best, he's world class. As I say, there are at least 7 or 8 players when they're at the best, they're world class too. Then.
Look,
hypothetical, wasn't it?
The debate that you guys or people been having about Son, whether he was world class or not. Personally, I don't think he's a world class player, but I think he's had world class seasons, right? But overall, as a player, he's not a world class player. But he has had seasons at Spurs where we're world class, right? You've had Conte, Jose Mourinho, and Poch all call him world class, right? So, people have to remember this is an Asian player, right? Let's not forget that he came from Korea, right? And how many players have done what he's done? First captain ever to win a European trophy who's an Asian player, right? It's just everything that Son has done. He's broken records that not many players in that region of the world could ever do, right? And I don't know if we'll ever see that again. Maybe not in our lifetime, right? So he's done something that not many players can do, right? So, and also for me, look, Son had, I think, 2 or 3 world-class seasons at Spurs, right? And I think Harry Kane is a world-class player because he consistently played at that level at the top year in, year out. Whereas Son, he did go through patches where he was not great and he wasn't performing, but then he has patches where he's unbelievable. He's sensational.
I think
it's the same for Romero, right? Romero, I don't think is a world-class player. I think he on his day he can be world-class, and he's had patches where he's been world-class, and he's shown that he can be up there with the best defenders on the planet. And also the fact that he has won a World Cup and he's won everything from a national point of view. He's won now a European trophy, right? So it's not, you don't do that if you're not a good player. I'm sorry, you just don't, right? But he's not consistently played at that level that he can play at. And that's for whatever reason. That's whether it's his motivation, whether that's his desire, whether that's injuries, whatever it is, he hasn't been able to sustain that. If he sustains that, then 100%, right, he will be classed as a world-class player, but not right now.
Do you think Mathys Tel will be a world-class player?
Yeah. He could be.
Maybe.
Not in the eyes of some who have made their mind.
Give us a 1 or a 0 in the chat.
The dice card. Got the super chats, guys. Matt C, big up to you, said, what if Spurs do what Porto did? A surprise transfer. Son giving the 7 shirt to Eze.
I don't want anyone to have the Sun shirt, like the number 7 for this season. Let it have a 1 season without it, to be honest.
Bit of a breather. Yeah.
Yeah. Because regardless of, for me, he dropped the last couple of years. He's such a legend, man. He scored some of the iconic goals. I mean, even the little things. First goal in the new stadium. Like, there's so many things that he did do. I would personally like him to just leave the 7 for a season and just say to Eze, look, you want 7, you can have it, but just give us a season.
Who's that?
Nah, fuck all that sentimentality bollocks. If he gets him over the line, bring in Eze, give him the 7 shirt. We'll give him double 7, give him 77. I don't care about that. I don't care about that bollocks. Richard Evans, or as I'm now apparently called you, Richard Devons. Good afternoon, boyo. You're right there, mate. That's a terrible accent. I don't know what I was doing there. That moved into something else. That was a bit Bristolian as well. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Appreciate you. George has also said, great show, Sean. Appreciate you, mate. It wasn't just me. It was these 2 and the other 5 people that went before. Lads, we're going to round off last sort of 5 minutes, if you fancy it, and then we'll call it a night. Where do Tottenham currently finish this season in the league?
Currently, 9th or 8th.
Who are the 8 teams that finish above Tottenham?
Man City to win the league, Liverpool, Arsenal, or even Chelsea, and then Arsenal maybe, or Arsenal 3rd, Chelsea 4th. 5th, depends if Isak stays. If he stays, it's so hard right now. If Isak is in the squad, let Newcastle finish 5th.
No chance. Carry on.
I think Newcastle finished 5th.
No chance. Not chance.
What? You said
I'll have a £50 bet with you. I'll have a £50 bet with you right now for charity.
You said, Sean. But hold on. Are you talking about right now as the squads are? Because I'm not going to make a bet until that window's closed.
No, take a bet right now.
Because I'm not going to sit here and say Newcastle right now, because right now they've got Isak in their squad, and if Isak doesn't go right and he stays because Man United have got Sesko and they can't bring the replacement, then it changes everything. And who knows? Isak could stay and then have an amazing season.
I'm saying it knowing that he might be there. I've got the stones to say Isak might be there, but they still won't finish 5th.
Why don't you think that?
Because they got Champions League.
Yeah, but so do we.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about Tottenham. I'm talking about Newcastle.
Yeah, but you think Newcastle won't finish above if they've got a better squad? You said it earlier on.
Newcastle haven't got a better squad. They've got a better starting 11. They haven't got a better squad than Tottenham. They've got a better starting 11 than Tottenham.
So you think Dude, is that debatable really though? Because their midfield right now is
take the
is
bet or
better
don't
than
take
ours?
the bet, Danny. Are you going to be Billy?
I'm not taking the bet.
Take the
No,
bet,
I'm not taking the bet.
shut
I'm
up.
not taking the bet.
I was on the DM on Twitter earlier, and Sava was saying Tottenham were just like Tottenham are a disgrace. They sack the chairman, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I have a 50 quid bet with you. No, he was saying that Manchester United are showing ambition. Manchester United are how it's done, all this stuff. And I was like, all right, if you think that way, then have a 50 quid bet with me right now that Tottenham finish above. I think Tottenham will finish above Man United. He was like, no, I'm not taking that bet. I'll wait until September the 1st. I was like, the bet won't be there on September the 1st. Right now, you think that Manchester United are so much more superior than Tottenham, take the bet now. And he wouldn't. So like, I like to challenge people because in the financial markets, everyone who has an opinion on something has to put their money where their mouth is. Otherwise, it's just talk. And so that's why I think a bet is the best way to do it. You know, charity bet. What's that?
I would say Sava in the chat was saying, send me the WhatsApp. I don't know what he means by that. Unless he wants to come on.
Chat.
Yeah, he's
See, I think we get 8th. If the transfer window stands shut today, we get 8th.
I think 8th as well. I just think
the 3 teams you think finish. Do you think Villa, Newcastle, and United finish above us?
United definitely, yeah. They've transformed their front line.
Okay, so 50 quid bet then, Danny.
What, Newcastle finish above us?
No, that Tottenham. I think Tottenham finish above Manchester United.
Right now, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to make a bet once I've seen who we sign because I think we could. If we go and sign Eze and another player, then it defeats the object of the bet.
Sean's got money to burn. 50 quid here, 50 quid. Who wants 50 quid?
Take the bet. No, I'm not
Sean. I will.
Sean, send me 50 quid.
Hold on. No, I will do a bet for charity on the September the 1st. I will do a bet with you for charity on September the 1st once we know who we've got. Because I'm not doing it until we sign. Do you
know what? I could go and get probably 3 to 1 on that price on the betting markets right now. I'm offering it at evens, and no one takes it.
We're trying to save you money, mate.
None of you actually have the stones to back up what you say. None of you do. It's a 50 quid bet.
We're trying to save you money, mate. We're trying to be good friends here.
Yeah, but you know what? The chat that Pete, Grumpy Pete, he had a 50 quid bet with me. And he said, "What?" And he lost the bet a couple of seasons ago, and he said, "What's the charity?" And I said, "I'll give it to a dog's charity, like a blind dogs charity or something." And he messages me every time that he gets a text message, a phone call, or a leaflet through the post, or an email. They got hold of his contact details and they harass him. They harass him non-stop for more money. He's like, fucking charity has come after me again.
That's brilliant.
That's really the purpose here. I'd want someone to get harassed for.
It's not the 50 quid; it's the lifetime torture that he's after.
That's what he wants.
100%. That's the fun bit. What we say? So you're saying 8th, James. And you're saying 8th.
I would say 8th. Yeah, I would say the top 4 pick himself. What I would say is, I think Chelsea might finish higher than we think. And then I think
Chelsea need to be in a title challenge. Otherwise, they're an embarrassment. The amount of money they spend.
I think they might be, to be honest. I think that they play, or I know it's only Club World Cup, but I did see moments in that where I thought, you're looking like a team. And the last season, I thought they looked like good individuals, whereas in that cup, I thought they started to play like a team.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think Arsenal will finish higher than Chelsea, or Chelsea higher than Arsenal?
I think Chelsea
good question.
I think Chelsea have peaked. I think the reason why Arsenal don't get over the line is because of Arteta. It's not because of
I think
he's cringy. I think the Arsenal players are cringy as fuck. All this bollocks in a fucking friendly, pumping out "You'll never walk alone" on the training ground. It's cringy as hell. If you're picking up 300 grand a week and your boss is pumping out "You'll never walk alone" on the training ground,
it's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, guys. Just so that they can prepare themselves for the atmosphere at Anfield. What are we doing here? You have peaked, bro. Gyökeres isn't going to score 30 goals. You're not. It's not the players that can't get you over the line. It's you, my man. It's you.
Yeah, I would love nothing more, man. I would love nothing more than fucking Lego head.
They're not going to win anything.
They're
not going to. I think they're going to do worse this season than with Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is going to flop as well.
Yeah.
Who
did Arsenal lose to tonight?
Did they
Villarreal.
lose?
Yeah, Villarreal, was it?
Love that.
3-2.
Love
brilliant.
that.
Do you know, Sean's right,
I wouldn't be surprised
is
if Arsenal
Arteta.
finished fourth. I think Liverpool win the league, City second, it'll be tight. I think Chelsea will finish third and Arsenal will finish fourth. And then I think fifth will be a fair distance back to.
What about United fourth, Tottenham fifth, Arsenal sixth?
I'd take that.
50 quid bet.
Only because no
so
one's taken
funny.
my 50 quid bet. You know?
50 quid bet. I'll bet you 50 quid.
I love it. Love it. Right, lads, about time to wrap up. We've been going.
Sure. I'll do you a bet. I bet 50 quid that Gyökeres flops.
No, I'm on the same side of that bet as you, mate. I think it's less than 12
Take
goals.
the bet. Take the bet.
Always want to say massive thank you for coming on. There's some super chats where I haven't got to. Sorry, 1 second. Oscar's saying Tottenham will finish fifth this season. Member for 23 months, Oscar. Very cool of you, man. Thank you for the loyalty. Appreciate you very much. I love that optimism. Need to get a couple of worldies in at the top end of the pitch in order for that to happen. But we shall see. And Cowboy Spurs has said, Sean, are we funding this bet habit? It's not. I've offered out the same bet to 5 people, but I'll only make one bet. It's 50 quid. You know, it's 50 quid. But yes, you are. Thank you for the super chat. Any more super chat? Thank you very much, Cowboy. Appreciate you. Ye fucking hard to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been going for 3.5 hours, and I've enjoyed every second of it. It's really good fun tonight. Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much to James. Thank you to all the super chats. Thank you to all the members that came on. Appreciate good show to everyone that came on for the first time and had their say. I'll be doing this again next week because I really actually enjoyed it far more than I thought I would. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more absolute clickbait and waffle from me, and you can expect shamelessness in the morning, followed by absolute delusion in the afternoon as James's phone has gone off the side there. Appreciate you all, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.